Valley 10 times.
Yeah, works, doesn't it?
It works better than anything. It works better than an election ad. It works better than a TikTok video. Third-party endorsements from people who love footy and go, yeah, I'm not really into politics, but geez, that Peter Malinauskas. If you're a Lib, you'd be watching that just going, ah!
I like the equivalence you've drawn with Alan Joyce and the Qantas Lounge. I like the idea that one day there's going to be a Senate estimates hearing. They'll say, no, Senator, did you go to Gather Round?
Yeah, well.
Were you at the Barossa Valley clash in 2025?
Well, let's look at the Pro-Am at Liv. Now, I know Tommy Wren plays it.
Mm.
The AMs, that is the amateurs in playing that are overwhelmingly local captains of industry who used to passionately stick by the Liberal Party through thick and thin.
Mm.
Now, that's I'm not saying it's corrupt, but it's interesting because the manner in which those people are invited, who calls them. I'm guessing it's not Sharon from the SATC. I reckon it would be of immense value to the Premier to sit down of an evening a couple of months out from Gather Round and go, now, okay, I'll get my little black book out. Who can I ring?
Yeah, you're right. You're right with what you say, that it is rare that you get a single event that does simultaneously such a great job promoting the state and also promoting the Premier.
Yeah.
Like, good luck dreaming up another one.
But this is the thing. How does it get attacked without you looking like a complete misery guts?
You can't. 16 after 6. We've got some news headlines coming up here next.
Aldi's pre-marinated boneless lamb leg is now only $18.99 per kilo. And so easy to cook, you could do it with your eyes closed. Or maybe just one eye closed. Aldi. Good different.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
1 minute you're taking a test drive at Edwardstown Mazda, the next, sipping cocktails in Bali. Oh, cheers. Buy a car from Edwardstown Mazda and win the ultimate Bali holiday, flights, accommodation and activities. Plus, score up to $8,000 in savings across the entire Edwardstown Mazda range. Your new car and Bali holiday are waiting only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
It's gotta be.
Now, where is my suitcase?
Want to stay living at home as independently as possible? That can come with risks, like falling, especially if you're by yourself. A Vital Call personal alarm can bring peace of mind that rapid response is always there for urgent help. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Before anything happens, get a Vital Call personal alarm. You might even be eligible for a free one. Call 1300 Vital Call now.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Talking mechanic to mechanic, one of the toughest parts of our job would have to be tracking down the most reliable four-wheel drive parts. At Terrain Tamer, we have Australia's largest range of four-wheel drive parts, all designed, engineered and tested to outperform the original. Hey, righto guys. Talk to one of Terrain Tamer's army of trained parts interpreters who all speak fluent four-wheel drive, or jump online and have over 60,000 parts at your fingertips, delivered anywhere in Australia. Go to terraintamer.com.
Above the vibrancy of Kent Town, across the parklands to the city skyline, your view stretches out before you, never to be lost. The East End is at your doorstep, as are the eastern suburbs. This is a lifestyle change beyond expectations. A sky home delivered by an award-winning team known for impeccable quality. Parkline by Chase Crown is living above and beyond. An opportunity not to be missed. parklinekenttown.com.
Grab your favourite choc top and some popcorn and enjoy a day of fun on the big screen at Wallace. From animated movies, adventure, drama, comedy, or maybe something a little scary, Wallace has a movie for everyone. And you can become a My Wallace member and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Your school holiday entertainment is covered at Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noarlunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment. Book now at wallace.com.au. you.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Have you ever dreamed of having the world's best Italian-made tiles in your home? Right now at National Tiles, select any one of our 17 very popular standard range tiles and we'll upgrade you to the world's very best Italian-made tiles absolutely free, saving you a massive $4,000 on an average 80 square metre order. Yes, have the world's best Italian-made tiles and depending on quantity, save up to $4,000 or more. But you'll have to be quick, so rush into National Tiles now and save. Conditions apply.
Wayville Hyundai's 2024 stock clearance is on now. Every new 2024 Hyundai is priced to clear. No waiting, no delays. You can drive away today. Did you know you can always get your car in quicker for a service at Wayville Hyundai? Enjoy peace of mind knowing you're in the best hands with our expert service team. Ask about our service now, pay later options. Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai, opposite the showground at 11 Goodwood Road.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube. Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes after 6.
Talking at the start of the show about Isaac Rankin's stunning vocal performance on the Eddie Maguire footy show last night and saying if he was a contestant on The Voice and you were one of the judges in the chairs, would you have turned around? Well, Rob, he's just the funniest bloke. Rob's texted in on the police home care text line saying, knowing Isaac's luck, the judge should have turned around but didn't.
Police home care text line 044808 1395. Given all that was going on, Festival of Footy and Gather Round wise last night, did anyone watch the debate? 8223 text us on the Police Home Care text line. Give us your review.
The last 15 minutes. Did you see it?
I've seen the excerpts and the coverage of it, but I was out. They faced off the leader of the opposition, Peter Dutton, and the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, in front of 100 undecided voters in Sydney's West. They were asked what they're doing to make healthcare more affordable.
Whenever we have to go for medical visit, we have to pay doctors a gap fee, which is increasing every day. So it's very difficult with current cost of living crisis, every time paying extra gap fee. So I want to ask both of you, what's your plan? Do you want to increase Medicare funding?
So that was an example. There was a town hall style debate, if you didn't see it. So you had the two leaders standing up and they were asked questions by the 100 undecided voters who gave the debate to Anthony Albanese in the end. The numbers 44 to 35 with 21 saying they couldn't split them.
The Tizer poll gave it to Dutton emphatically. So it sort of shows that audiences can be quite diverse and have different ways of looking at it. What about poor old Peter Dutton? His old man had a heart attack. Late yesterday. It was
before he went on for the debate.
Just before he did the debate. It's just terrible, isn't it?
Awful.
Poor bloke. You're right.
Australian shares are set to fall when the market opens this morning after the gains in New York were lost during the late trade. The White House said the US will move forward with 104% tariffs on Chinese exports. The Dow Jones are now more than 700 points down, or about 2%. Again today. It was actually rallying. The markets were looking really strong. And then the White House, Caroline Leavitt came out, the White House spokesperson said, oh yeah, no, the 104% is happening. China's missed the deadline. It's a couple of hours away. And the market, you should see it. It looks like the polling of the Conservative leader of Canada every time Trump speaks. It's just sort of, it's a straight line down.
Trump's really doing that guy a lot of favours, isn't he?
Oh, that bloke was as close to a crushing victory in an election as he had ever been. And then through no fault of his own,
I know, it's crazy, isn't
he got absolutely crunched. Tesla wants to build a factory here in southern Adelaide. They're focusing on repurposing batteries. In a letter to residents, Marion Council say they were approached by the developer MBCCT, which is hoping to build the factory at Tonsley on council-owned Chestnut Court Reserve. This place in Marion, this is where the TCE was, the contaminated soil. Right. So it's been vacant, needs to be fixed up. The job would create 100 positions. The Marion Council is looking for feedback until April 17th.
Tesla already has a presence of some sort down there.
They've got it might be a service centre.
Yeah, so if you've got a battery or something like that.
Yeah, or a car.
These days you need to take your Tesla in for a service because somebody's put a brick through the window.
Geez, yeah.
How does that work? What's the rational link between, a nurse in Adelaide who wants a Tesla and the conduct of Elon Musk as the head of Doge. Someone texted in weeks ago saying, if you want to get really upset about cars, maybe you should turn your attention to Volkswagen, given their history.
Well, it's because people are stupid and reactive. What are the chances people bought the Tesla since the change of government in the United States?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people, because there was a big supply problem for a long time with them. You couldn't get them anyway.
Yeah, exactly right.
They would have probably all got them pre-Doge.
But it's really, if you think about the profile of the average Tesla buyer up until December last year or January this year, it's probably a pro-environment, pro-electric car lefty. And what's the profile of the kind of person that wants to brick anything Elon Musk owns? Probably a pro-environment lefty.
Doesn't really make sense.
Not really. 14.5 degrees outside in the city at the moment. I'm told there's a beautiful sunrise on the way as well from the police home. If you jump on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, I think Brookie's got the iPhone on a stick on the roof, trained on the sunrise this morning. Top of 25 today. We might get a drizzle of rain, but today's notable because it's sort of the last non-30 day we're going to get for a while, or at least non-29 day. Tomorrow 30, Friday 29, Saturday 32, Sunday 33, Monday 32, Tuesday cooling off ever so slightly down to 27. What a slate of days for gather round this week.
Well, also, let's be honest about it. That bracket of weather is tailor-made for the alfresco consumption of beverages. Is it not? That's sitting outside with a pale ale.
You just feel like the God is shining on you if you own a pub or a restaurant in the city.
Totally.
For the next 5 days.
100%.
Mind you probably feel like you're owed a few over the last 4 or 5 years.
Making up for it, yeah.
Tom Wren is in the FIVEAA Breakfast Studio. Colours, custom design, any house, any style. That's Glider Old Garage Doors. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. For those waking up this morning, Champions League action on in the soccer. Arsenal have had a huge result against Real Madrid in their quarter-final. They've won 3-0. I think the best 2 free kicks I've seen, goodness, in 12 months from the one player, Declan Rice.
3-0 against Real.
Yep. So they still got to play back in Spain.
Right. But, Real Madrid will somehow, they'll score 3 goals after the 88th minute in that game.
But that was, I mean, goodness me, I'll play some audio a little bit later. That was incredible. Just on Gather Round, amazing. All love it. It has been sensational. Just the only disappointment, we've got a lot of fans down south.
Geelong?
South Adelaide, and Geelong was supposed to train there and, prepare for the match, but they said it was a bit, I'm not sure exactly the logistics, but South Adelaide at McGain Stadium, who's a great supporter here, Mike Dobbin, they've missed out on the players training there, so it's a bit disappointing.
That is just pathetic from the Geelong Football Club.
Why did it happen? What are they saying?
You know what their reason is? It's logistics and distance.
Are they from Geelong?
Yeah. Noongar is like half an hour, barely. From where we're sitting now.
Yeah. So,
what is... I reckon the AFL should be able to actually put the screws on them and say, hey, listen, a big part of this is it's about grassroots. It's about the community. Poor old South.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So we want, hopefully they get some love. If not this year, somehow they can make it up because the people, it's the gateway to the Fleurieu. We know that it's a real hub of, activity down there. It's a proud sporting culture. I feel a bit for the people down at South Adelaide.
Well, there'd be kids there because I know. So my son years ago, I think the first year, he loves Adam Sard. And hang on, is he the Carlton defender? Yeah. So they trained at Unley. Jim went with a whole bunch of his mates. They all met him. They got his autographs. They had a chat to him. They're just sitting there over the white picket fences.
And that lasts a lifetime, doesn't it? Those moments, they're impactful.
There'd be kids down south, and if you're involved with local footy down there. And you think about that area, but Port Noongar Football Club, and Fitzy's obviously, king of the cockle divers. We're going to be talking to Fitzy later. He'll be fired up about this.
Yeah.
There'd be kids going, I was going to go to that.
And parents. So, a bit disappointing. We'll talk about the Masters. That's running. Starts tomorrow night, so we're about 36 hours away from the start of the 89th Masters. 95 players. Look, it's arguably, it's Christmas time for golf. It's the biggest event, if not the Open Championship. It's out of those two. They're the best two majors, comfortably. There's 5 Australians in it. It's actually really difficult to make the tournament. Once you're there, it's an easier tournament to win, I think, than a lot of just the regular tournaments because you've got players like Bernhard Langer that have won it previously. No chance. Can't get close.
Yeah, so is it a smaller field?
It's much smaller,
but it's full of all the former winners who are on their 70s or 80s now as well.
That's right, who can give up their spot, but some of them say, no, I'm coming back. I want to play.
Yeah.
So if you've won it before, can you just keep turning up?
I think it's until age 65 or maybe 70. So, but yeah, it might even be later for this one. So you can just keep coming back. So Bernard Langer's back in there.
Didn't he win about 30 years ago?
He's won it twice. Yeah, exactly. A long time ago. Look, it's hard to go past Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy. They're the two standouts. But if we're playing around them, you know, and looking for other players that might do well, I've got a few that I think will go close. I think Victor Hovland from Norway's found his game again. I think he's going to go very close. I think there's a guy called Joaquin Niemann, who I really like too, and Xander Schauffele. They're the three. Of the Aussies, I think Jason Day and Minwoo Lee are going to be up to their eyeballs in it this year. I think Minwoo Lee won 2 weeks ago. He's built for this course. And Jason Day's gone back to his old coach, and he looks like the player when he was the world number 1 5 years ago as a result. So I think that's been a huge shift for him.
Have you ever been to Augusta?
No, I need to go.
You should go, mate. It'll be on your bucket list, wouldn't it?
Yeah, big time. Big time.
Can we do at some point, let's do Tom Wren's top 10 sports bucket list, the 10 sporting places you want to go to in the world?
We've got to make it, and then we'll all go FIVEAA breakfast is going together.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Good on you, Reddy.
You mentioned McGain before. Maybe we're going to have a chat to Mike off air about that.
That's a very good idea.
Make it happen, Mike. Good on you, Reddy.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Tom.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 25 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. physioextra.com.
Donald Trump has confirmed he'll impose a 104% tariff on China in a matter of hours. It's in response to China's decision to match reciprocal US duties announced last week. China's refused to bow what it calls blackmail. Former US Ambassador Arthur Sinodinos has told Today a high-stakes game of brinkmanship is unfolding between the two global powers.
The Trump playbook is, if you retaliate, I will escalate. The Chinese playbook is, we're in no mood to negotiate as yet. We're not going to back down.
Australians, meantime, could pay more for goods where products have been made across different countries. Gabrielle Hodson reports.
What do Barbie dolls and lawnmowers have in common? Multiple moving parts made in different parts of the world and prices that are predicted to rise in Australia under Donald Trump's tariffs. A Griffith University expert has told News Corp manufacturers will have trouble getting the components, pushing up prices. That includes electric power tools, electronics, white goods, clothing, cars and toys. The tariffs will put a pause on many cheap products in our department and hardware stores, with some predicted to vanish from Aussie shelves altogether.
The Prime Minister has won the people's vote in the First Leaders debate of the election campaign. Answering questions from 100 undecided voters in Sydney's West, Anthony Albanese received 44% of the votes compared to Peter Dutton's 35%. National Senator Matt Canavan says it appears Mr Albanese isn't offering a cost of living plan.
I think if he can't even prescribe the difficulties that Australians are facing, how can he solve the major issues that are putting huge pressure on average Australian families?
Australian shares are set to fall when the market opens today after another rocky day on US markets overnight. At one point, the Dow Jones down more than 700 points, or 2%, but lifted in late trade to be down 320 points. The State Emergency Service has built a sand wall around the remote outback town of Inaminka as unprecedented floodwaters impact the area. A road train bringing earth-moving gear, flood mitigation tech, drones and other equipment has arrived in the area. Crews have been flown in over the last 4 days to help protect the town, with the peak of the floodwaters expected to reach Inaminka by tonight. SA Sport and Active Recreation Clubs are set to receive funding to help them grow through the Active Club program. The grassroots round will see more than 1.3 million distributed to 565 recipients, helping clubs further develop programs and the services they provide within the community. Sports Minister Emily Burke says a drought relief round is next.
The drought relief round will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is an additional and dedicated round just to our drought-affected communities. We know that sport plays such a pivotal role in our regional communities. That's why we're putting out an extra $2 million to make sure that they can have access again to activate their clubs, whether it's helping with water bills, keeping kids active, keeping adults active.
More than half of over 65s have delayed seeking dental treatment in the last year. The Australian Dental Association survey of 25,000 people found affordability the main reason. 2 in 3 of over 65s delaying dental trips in the last year because they simply can't afford it. The Dental Association saying without treatment, mouths become a battleground of pain and infection management. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Morning, Tom Wren.
And a good morning to you as well, Matty. Adelaide has a big decision to make on forward Isaac Rankin as he battles a calf complaint ahead of tomorrow night's clash against Geelong to kick off gather round. The teams for the Crows and Cats clash will be announced tonight. Port Adelaide doesn't play until Sunday against Hawthorn, and despite the club's lacklustre start to the season, assistant Chad Corns is confident they can turn things around quickly.
It's really clear what we need to action and improve, and I'm confident we can do that pretty quickly.
Arsenal has taken a huge step towards a Champions League semi-final berth after smashing Real Madrid 3-0 this morning. Scores were locked at 0-0 approaching the hour mark before Declan Rice scored twice from 2 incredible free kicks from outside the box. The second, an absolute scorcher.
It's Rice again! Oh, my goodness! Incredible! This is Declan Rice's night.
You can say that again. Wow. Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. They added a third goal soon after, and now the tie will move back to Spain and the return leg will be played next week. There was one other quarter-final clash on this morning. Inter Milan scoring a late winner to beat Bayern Munich 2-1. And golfers will enjoy the par 3 contest at the US Masters at Augusta as excitement builds ahead of the event, which begins tomorrow night, our time. And that's the 5AA Sport.
5AA's forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
25 for Adelaide today, partly cloudy, cloud clearing tomorrow and 30, sunny on Friday and across the weekend, temps 29 through to 33. Right now it is 14. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
$23 to 7. Let's do some police home care tech, shall we, while Lucy gets comfortable, and we'll get to a touch of etiquette in just a moment. Then after 7 today, the Premier of South Australia, Peter Malinauskas, will join us.
If a picture's worth 1,000 words, we've actually got more photographs than text in the last few minutes on the police home care text. Oh, look at the sunrise. Beautiful sunrise out there. I saw Luce was just out on the balcony doing some photos. Kaz in Brompton has taken a lovely picture, and there's another one here of the sunrise in Erbray. Keep them coming. And one from Nairn. Wow, what about this? Fantastic. One from Strathalbyn, from Catherine, one from Glenelg, from Andrew. With no prompting from us, everyone's just sprung out of bed and got their phones out, which is terrific.
Keep sending them through. We might put up a few on the Facebook and YouTube live stream throughout the morning.
One good text here to the point we're making about the value of gather round for changing the perception of our excellent state. It's always been excellent. They just didn't know it earlier. Jonathan says, guys, the family and I are in Melbourne on a family holiday and I was wearing the Crows jumper. It's incredible how many people have pulled me up and started talking about gather round and how much they want to go. I feel so proud being a South Australian right now. Good on you, mate, and have a good trip.
Well, Lucy's come in from the producer's booth with the question of modern etiquette, how you conduct yourself, making sure you don't get into trouble, you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Lucy, good morning to you.
Good morning. Only 14 degrees outside on our level 3 balcony we are now. Puffer is in full swing. I have a blanket out there.
Stay away from the light, Puffer. Do you know what film that's from?
I do not.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't know.
I think
Anyway.
you've seen it. There's something about Mary.
Oh, I have seen it.
Remember the dog? When he brings the dog back to life with the
gives it
the electrical wires.
Chest compressions.
That's right. Defibrillates.
Memorable film for some.
Area.
Not for me.
Okay.
Talking phone etiquette this morning. Modern technology. People leaving voicemails. I don't know if you still do that. People just sending text messages. Even my job has changed how I communicate with people who we want on the show. Yours probably as well, Dave. But the
Are you a texter? Like if we
I
want
am.
the Premier on, do you text his media people?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I will text most guests because often I will ring them and hear their voicemail and it will say, shoot me a text message. So now I'm in the habit of texting, and then if they want to call me, they can call me. That's fine.
What, do you reckon, and I don't want to step on etiquette loose, but do we think we're at a point now where for the majority of the population, the text is just the preferred method of communication over phone calls? Not everyone, but do you reckon it's at the majority?
Yeah, I think because the notion of if you want to call someone, you want to talk to them for a long time. You want to hear their voice, you're in for a good chat. Otherwise, if you just need something quick,
you just
text.
I put a age differential on that? Because I think people like my mum's generation they regard texting as something that is practical and handy, but they do not regard a text exchange, even a long one, as a conversation.
No, so
And it's
therefore
like,
they
we haven't
ring
spoken
to
for
have a
days.
conversation.
Hello, dear, we haven't spoken for 2 days. So I would never think with my mum that I've spoken to her if I've sent her 10 texts in a day.
Well, in that vein, people of your mum's generation are really savvy with mobile phones. The landline has gone a bit of the way of the dodo. And now, if you get a call from a landline, do you answer it?
I think this is a great call.
Do you think it's a scammer? Do you think it's
it's a scam.
5AA Studio ringing you?
Let's ask our listeners this. I think this is a great question because I think this has changed really fast without anyone necessarily making a point of noticing. Is it rude anymore just not to answer if you don't know the number? I reckon once upon a time it was rude. Your phone rings, you answer it. Someone's trying to ring you.
And because once upon a time you couldn't see a number on the screen.
That's right.
It just rang and you answered it.
Is it rude? Do you just let people go through to the answering machine now? I'll put my hand up. I will not answer in a million years a number I don't recognise on my phone.
Well, I'll go one better than that. If I see a number with 03, I immediately think this is an Indian call centre.
Yep.
Ringing me about my power plant. Now, the other day, this really nice lady from Melbourne rang me and it came up as 03 and I just answered the phone. I just picked the kids up from school, I was getting out of the car and an 03 number came up and I answered the phone and I went, what? And she goes, oh, is that you, David? And I went, oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
But I'd had a call an hour before, an 03, and you hear the... You're like...
Yeah, the moment of
Hello,
silence
sir.
is your key to hang up.
Oh.
If you answer it.
But I think you're both right. I think these days, unknown number or I'd throw in interstate suffix, you just go...
Well, nowadays,
I'll answer it.
if I'm prepping someone for an interview, I will say I'll ring off our studio number, which might show up as a private number, might show up as a landline. I actually am not sure what it shows up as if it's not saved in your phone as the 5AA Studio. So I now prep people in case they don't ignore my call.
Yeah, of course. You wouldn't have had to do that a generation ago.
No.
822 we got some Charlesworth nuts to give away.
Yes, $100 worth of Charlesworth nuts ahead of Easter. We'd love to hear your thoughts on phone etiquette this morning.
Good prize.
Well, I reckon there's sort of two questions running concurrently there. One is, are you now in the camp that prefers a text over a call, or are you still in the call over text? The other is, do you ever answer a phone number that you don't have stored in your phone? Let us know. 8223 is the number. $100 worth of Charlesworth could be coming your way. Good time of year for it too as we head into Easter. Let's head to Blakeview. Doug, good morning. You there,
Yeah,
Doug?
hello. So you said you don't answer numbers you don't know, but what if it's an emergency? What if it's, the police trying to contact you because you've got a family member in trouble or a hospital or something like that, and then you just ignore that phone call and it could be a really bad one to ignore.
Yeah, good point, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely.
I often think
I hope they
about
leave a voicemail.
I think about that, Doug, and often I think if it is an emergency, they'll just keep ringing, right? If I ignore the first one, they'll keep ringing. I get a lot of phone calls from public relations people, lots from interstate with stories who aren't relevant to South Australia, so I will usually let them go through to the keeper.
Can I...
And again, they'll follow up with an email or a text regardless. But if it is an emergency, I feel like someone would just keep ringing you.
That was when I stopped answering my phone, Luce, when I did your job back 15 years ago. And it was like, hey, it's I'm just here. I've just got a really exciting chat you might be interested in. Are you guys familiar with this new dating show? No.
Yeah, in Malaysia on Sunday nights at midnight.
Yeah, it's Tina from Kapow Communications here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going into a tunnel.
Yeah. Hope you're having a super Wednesday.
Yeah. The reason I'm reaching out, if anyone says they're reaching out to me, they're gone.
Let's go to Birkenhead. Frank, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yes, if I don't get if I have a number that I don't recognise, I won't answer it. And people have the voicemail. They can leave a voicemail, and sometimes they don't even leave an answer in a voicemail. And that's when I get a bit sus about things. Sometimes I get a number that warns me against scams, which I'm getting now. And even though I don't answer it, they try and go into voicemail as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're persistent, Frank, but it's a decent strategy to avoid them. Thank you. Let's go to Semaphore. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, what I do, if I don't recognise the number, I would actually then Google the number, see if it registers as a prank, a scam call or whatever. Because I've had a couple of 08 ones, and they were scammers.
Yeah. I go one further than you, Debbie. I check my emails to see if it is a PR person who's emailed me before. I just got to make sure.
Occupational hazard. Thank you, Debbie. Reno, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good, mate.
Yeah, the same, guys. Yeah, I had two numbers yesterday called me, and I didn't recognise them. I didn't answer them. They didn't leave a message, and if they wanted me, they'd call me back. They didn't. So I don't answer numbers. And also the one that you were talking about, Dave, I do answer them sometimes, but I don't answer. I don't say anything. I wait for them to talk, and they hang up. After 5 seconds, they just hang up. So, no. Unless I don't know the number, I don't answer the phone.
Good on you, Reno. Seacombe Gardens is where we find Judy. Good morning to you, Judy.
Hi, guys. I kept my mother's landline number, and as soon as it rings, I hear, say my sister's ringing, it'll say her name. Look, if I get another phone call, I see the 03 number. I do not answer it because they never stop ringing.
Yeah, they don't.
It's persistent, isn't it? Yeah, especially if they feel like they've got an in. Thank you,
and
Judy.
You block it and it comes up with a different number anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
It's shocking.
Jane in Northfield, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I have those sort of experiences myself, but I sort of look at it a different way. I've got to deal with my aged care, and a lot of the calls come from Melbourne and Sydney. So there's always a prefix to it. So what I do now is I answer the call. There's that little gap of silence, and they'll say my name. Hi, Jane. And I don't even let them go into the spiel. I say, what is the reason for your call? And there's dead silence. And then they pick up their conversation. And then I hang up and block their number. But I have to answer those 0203s because I might be missing a call.
Great point.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to be a little bit more proactive. But I think they must be getting to know my spiel now because I don't get as many as I used to.
Yeah. They've got your name crossed out in a database somewhere.
Jane's got the firm tongue on her.
That's right. Don't mess with Jane. Thank you. Let's go to Brooklyn Park. Shane, good morning.
Yeah, look, I agree with all the other callers. And the only time they ever catch me out is exactly what the last caller said is when you're expecting a call from one of those states and you take that call. But 9 times out of 10, it's always about your solar panels. You know, we can save you electricity. I tell them I don't pay any electricity at all, and they hang up straight away. It's quite funny.
Do you anyone get the ones with you get some sort of Mandarin message left in your voicemail? I've had those heaps recently.
Yeah.
I always wonder.
No, but I keep getting calls from Tunisia, spam calls from Tunisia. Wonder what's going on over there.
Have you ever had harissa?
I have. Anyway.
I don't think they're offering you harissa. Trev at Nova Gardens, good morning.
Yeah, good morning all. I prefer answering the call rather than the text because my wife likes sending me texts with 5 questions on it. It takes me half an hour to text back. It drives me nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I get a call that I don't know, I always pick it up because if it's a scammer or something, it gives me the opportunity to let off a bit of steam.
That's a good point.
Well, I know some of our listeners, and this will have to be another talk topic for another day, some of our listeners would definitely have the same tactic when you do answer these calls, that where they just pick them up, have a bit of fun, and as Trev says, let off a little bit of steam.
can
to
be a
these
bit of
poor,
fun.
these poor scammers on the other end.
Who do you like for the $100 Charlesworth?
We've actually got $200 Charlesworth
excellent.
nuts
Wow.
vouchers to give away. I'm going to give one to Trev in Nova Gardens. His poor wife sending him heaps of questions, and all he wants
Share it with
is
your wife,
just
Trev.
one question.
Yeah, that was good.
And the caller, I think Jane.
Jane.
Yeah. She makes a great point. Sometimes you just have to try and pick up the phone.
Some people don't
and
have the
see.
luxury because they regularly are getting calls from interstate.
Shout out as well to Cushy on the text line, who said, long-time listener, haven't phoned before, and all now first-time texting. Thank you, mate.
There you go. Thank you. Welcome
I reckon
aboard.
you got to feel sorry for, because no issue whatsoever with Indian Aussies. Great people. They got shared values with us. They made an excellent contribution to our society. But imagine being an Indian person, and this is not a racist generalisation, because it is an indisputable fact that these call centres that do all these calls that drive everyone mad, they're overwhelmingly staffed by Indian people. A lot of them working here as studying here, doing it to supplement their income or whatever. But imagine you're just a normal Indian person who's ringing someone about, like, say, you're a receptionist and you're ringing about a dental appointment. I think these days a lot of people, the moment they hear the accent, they're hanging up
They
the phone.
assume it's a scam or...
It must be really hard.
Or being sold something that they don't want.
Yeah.
It would be. It would be really difficult. All right, let's check traffic and we'll come back with more in just a moment. When you're thinking about selling your commercial property, if you need advice, talk to the experts at RWC Adelaide. Visit rwcadelaide.com.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Road's looking pretty good this morning, which is good. Do have a breakdown at Leewood Gardens to keep in mind. She's on the freeway up track near the tunnels, but no great delays at the moment, which is good. Mulberry North has works, Golden Grove Road near Milne Road, and we do have speeds at 40 at the moment. It's for works Virginia, Anglevar Road near Maloney Road. Getting busy as we speak. South Road, Karata Park, pretty normal though, and Cameras, Bartley Terrace, Westlake Shore, and Fletcher Road at Birkenhead. When the lucky country isn't so lucky you're with Amy. Before buying insurance issued by Amy, read the PDS and TMD at amy.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Recapture your sense of adventure today in the award-winning RAV4 at the new Jarvis Toyota Brighton Road, Somerton Park. With class-leading safety as standard, enjoy improved fuel economy with RAV4's leading two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive hybrid electric models. RAV4 is in stock and ready to go. Come and experience the difference and take a test drive today at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park.
Imagine waking up in a home designed for luxury living, where every day brings the opportunity for a morning swim, state-of-the-art wellness amenities, and evenings spent with friends. Retirement isn't about slowing down, it's about living on your own terms. Living Choice has created luxury homes with premium resort-style amenities and a community of like-minded individuals who believe retirement is about living life to the fullest. Make your choice. Living Choice. Go to livingchoice.com.au.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock-solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price. Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes to 7. Let's talk about the weather because it is going to be warm for the rest of the week. Just how warm? Well, Chris Cant has the details at the Bureau of Meteorology. Morning to you, Chris.
Good. How are you?
Very well. A bit of a cooler start today, though, but, geez, it's going to be pretty nice for gather round.
Yeah, it's right. 14 degrees out there at the moment. We're reaching a maximum of 25 degrees today. There's possibility of a light spot around this morning and maybe early afternoon, but it should be clearing up. And this weekend looking very warm, getting into the 30s for gather rounds. So it's going to be a bit of a warm one for those out in the field, and also watching this weekend in Adelaide and both at Barossa.
32 Saturday, 33 Sunday. Wow. Get the sunscreen out. Good on you, Chris. Thank you for that.
All right, let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes joins us. Rebecca, you've got an update on this fatal crash that took place out in the western part of the state on the Nullarbor.
Yes, sadly that driver of the ute died yesterday afternoon. The air highway has been reopened in both directions overnight. But for those who missed the story yesterday, a crash between a truck and a ute occurred about 6 a.m. on the air highway Nullarbor yesterday morning, about 75 kilometres from the Western Australian border. Our major crash investigators flew to the scene to investigate the cause of the crash. The 83-year-old driver of the Holden ute suffered critical injuries and sadly died yesterday afternoon. The truck driver is 47 and his passenger 52. All people in this crash were from Western Australia. They were not physically injured in the crash. And as I said, the air highway, they opened initially with contraflow just to get those vehicles moving who'd been parked up for several hours last night, and then it did finally reopen to all traffic in both directions about 2 a.m. this morning. And the driver's death is the 25th life lost on South Australian roads so far this year.
Yeah, rotten news. Also, Rebecca, a bloke was arrested after fleeing the scene of a crash in Elizabeth East yesterday afternoon.
Yes, the police were initially called to Spruance Road, Elizabeth East, about 4:45 p.m. yesterday afternoon after reports of a man in possession of a machete, and he was seen by witnesses to get into a silver Volkswagen Golf with stolen registration plates. A Northern District Patrol spotted the car on Chillingworth Road at Elizabeth East and attempted to stop it. However, it took off at speed and police lost sight of it. A short time later, police received reports of a two-car crash on Halsey Road involving a grey Volkswagen Golf with the driver running from the scene. Patrols were quickly in the area and they saw the man jumping a fence on Spruance Road, sort of back where this all started, and the suspect was quickly arrested without incident. Two occupants of the Nissan Dualis that he crashed into, a 64-year-old woman and her 91-year-old passenger, were both taken to hospital, and thankfully their injuries are not thought to be life-threatening, but obviously very shaken by the incident. The arrested man was charged with a string of traffic offences, including illegal use, 2 counts of driving dangerously to cause harm, and leaving the scene after a crash. He's been refused bail and he'll face court today.
Good stuff, Rebecca. Thank you for that. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes from SAPOL. I tell you who I hope is in a shame spiral. Those adults, those so-called grown-ups at Delphin Island who monstered those 2 kids for doing exactly the type of thing that kids should be doing.
We will be
enjoying the outdoors, going out, fishing, being in nature. Those people, those adults who went up and abused them, threatened them, threw their things around, these kids are doing exactly what kids should be doing in 2025.
We will be playing the audio for you of that incident after 7 o'clock. And Ned McHenry went off his tree on the fishing show about it last night too.
Good on him.
Terrific. So if you've got some thoughts on that.
The father's comments, the father of those boys, or one of the boys, if you're listening, mate, more power to your arm. We would love to talk to you because what you said about your kids, and he was overseas at work at the time, and as a father, it'd make you absolutely ropeable. But, you know, that's the sort of stuff. I thought we lamented the fact that kids weren't in the outdoors.
Some do. Some do. We're going to get into that next after 7 o'clock. Also, the Premier of South Australia not too far away, and your first chance to win Gather Round tickets. Stick around.
My dad was diagnosed with brain cancer years ago, so he had these 4 stones, and he just said, "This is my gift to you." Last year, I went into Martin Rogers. I said I'd like something floral because I love flowers. My husband picked it up for me, and I think I cried the whole day. It's truly one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like, it means the whole world to me.
Martin Rogers Jewellery. Timeless designs, unforgettable stories. martinrogers.com.au.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industry Sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big. Tough. or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industries Sale. On now.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Talking mechanic to mechanic, one of the toughest parts of our job would have to be tracking down the most reliable four-wheel drive parts. At Terrain Tamer, we have Australia's largest range of four-wheel drive parts, all designed, engineered and tested to outperform the original. Hey, righto guys. Talk to one of Terrain Tamer's army of trained parts interpreters who all speak fluent four-wheel drive, or jump online and have over 60,000 parts at your fingertips, delivered anywhere in Australia. Go to terraintamer.com.
They say you shouldn't mix business with pleasure, but they clearly haven't been to the AFL Gather-Round Business Lunch. This event brings together the AFL industry and the South Australian business community, offering the chance to celebrate footy while networking for your business.
This year's lineup of speakers includes AFL CEO Andrew Dillon, Premier Peter Malinauskas and AFL talent media personalities Patrick Dangerfield, Rory Sloane, Kate McCarthy and Nathan Buckley.
Tickets include seated dining with a delicious 2-course meal, a 3.5-hour drinks package, exclusive guest speakers, networking opportunities and an official 2025 Gather-Round souvenir.
Don't miss the AFL Gather-Round Business Lunch on Friday, April 11 at the Adelaide Convention Centre. Get your tickets now at afleventoffice.com.au.
Not just a camper, a whole adventure. With our expert guidance, we're here to ensure you're always prepared for your next great escape. Austrac Campers know how.
Austrac Campers.
Hi, Brett Ebert here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. There's a lot to like about Mawson Lakes Mazda. They'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash. And your breakfast or lunch is on them. Your car gets the love too with their state-of-the-art service centre, brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, they'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 25 today. With the 7 o'clock news, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
A 20-year-old man's been arrested after crashing a stolen car and running away after injuring 2 people in the northern suburbs yesterday afternoon. Police were called with the man spotted at Elizabeth East with a machete a little before 5. He was getting into a silver VW Golf with stolen registration plates. Patrols spotted the car travelling on Chillingworth Road. They tried to stop it, but it took off at speed. The car followed onto Midway Road. Police losing sight of it on Fletcher Road. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says they received calls about a crash a few minutes later.
Patrols were quickly in the area and they saw the man jumping a fence on Spruance Road, sort of back where this all started, and the suspect was quickly arrested without incident. 2 occupants of the Nissan Dualis that he crashed into, a 64-year-old woman and her 91-year-old passenger, were both taken to hospital, and thankfully their injuries are not thought to be life-threatening.
And the man will face court today. The federal opposition says its promised gas reforms will lead to cheaper energy prices after political leaders sparred over the issue in the first debate of the election campaign. More from federal politics reporter Zach De Silva.
The coalition has released the modelling behind its plan to keep more gas in Australia, claiming it would reduce household electricity bills by around 3%. Energy prices have been a hot topic during the first debate of the election campaign. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says his policy would also reduce costs for Australian industry.
That is, I think, transformational for our economy.
But Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the plan doesn't stack up.
The only gas policy that the coalition have is the gaslighting of the Australian public.
A crowd of undecided voters has declared the PM the debate winner by a 9-point margin.
Almost 70 countries have picked up the phone in the last 7 days seeking tariff talks with US President Donald Trump. The White House pushing forward with an extra 50% tariff on goods from China, countering its reciprocal response. Australia in line for talks. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the President will have a custom-made approach to trade with each country based on American needs.
American economic surrender is over. President Trump is no longer going to allow American workers and companies to be ripped off at the hands of foolish trade practices that shipped away millions of high-paying jobs and hollowed out communities across the country. It's America first all the way.
The Treasurer will today convene an emergency meeting with financial regulators to discuss the threat of a global trade war. Jim Chalmers saying he wants to do everything possible to safeguard the nation from global stock market volatility. The state government has launched the Youth Action Plan, setting out a 3-year roadmap to provide young people, particularly those facing isolation, disadvantage and discrimination, with more opportunity. Human Services Minister Nat Cook says over 1,000 South Australians, including 854 young people aged 12 to 25, gave input into the plan during 3 rounds of consultations.
Some of the key priorities for young people obviously include mental health and wellbeing, but also they want assistance to navigate services and information, access more activities, community spaces, and they're also having really concerned conversations about housing and cost of living.
Another day, another high-end clothing store robbed in Melbourne. Nine's Christina Hearn reports on the back of ram raids in Collins Street and the David Jones store in the city. A Chapel Street shop was ransacked in a smash and grab.
Police have released CCTV of the robbery at the Obtainable store on Chapel Street on March 10 at 3 a.m. 3 young masked offenders pull up in a black hatchback and smash their way into the store. They try and pull the clothes off the racks, but they're all tied on, eventually taking off with $21,000 worth of designer T-shirts and hoodies. It's the latest in a string of high-end smash and grabs in Melbourne. Yesterday, the Fendi store on Collins Street was targeted, with the Christian Dior store also on Collins Street hit twice.
5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Maddie. Adelaide forward Isaac Rankin is hopeful he'll be okay to play in tomorrow night's blockbuster beginning to gather round when the Crows host Geelong at Adelaide Oval. Rankin is in doubt after hurting his calf in the clash against Gold Coast, but he told Eddie Maguire on last night's footy show he's tracking well and wants to play.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Obviously just a little corky. You get those when it's contested ball. So
when somebody's shoving into your back, is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. We play Thursday, so it's a bit of touch and go. But at the moment, I'm fine to go. So I'm keen. Can't wait.
Audio there thanks to Nine. The teams for both sides will be released later tonight. Well, Inter Milan has secured a big result against Bayern Munich in the opening leg of their Champions League quarter-final tie after securing a 2-1 win in Germany. Inter with the winning goal in the 88th minute.
Barella, and here's Carlos Augusto. Can they get back in front again? They can. It's Fratesi. Sensational response from the Italian club.
Audio there thanks to Stan Football. There was one other game this morning and it was a stunning result for Arsenal, who recorded a 3-0 win against Real Madrid. To golf, Jason Day's been grouped with Phil Mickelson and Keegan Bradley for the first 2 rounds of the Masters. Minwoo Lee is with Colin Morikawa and Joaquin Niemann, while Adam Scott has been paired with Xander Schauffele and Victor Hovland. And Aussie cricketers Annabelle Sutherland and Georgia Voll have been nominated for the ICC's Women's Player of the Month award. And that's the 5AA Sport.
5AA traffic.
Selling your commercial property for top dollar is made easier with the team at RWC Adelaide. Visit rwcadelaide.com.
Busy in the usual spots this morning. South Road at Tonsley as you get off the Southern Expressway. A little bit slow too at the moment. Brighton Road, Glenelg East, and starting to build for works at Burnside this morning. Greenhill Road near Glenburn Road. Quite busy at the moment too. South Road, Clovelly Park with the camera. Hanson Road at Wingfield. The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 40% off selected bed frames. Plus take an extra 10% off selected bed frames and already reduced prices. Exclusions, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Partly cloudy today, 25, cloud clearing tomorrow and 30, then sunny days for gather round Friday and across the weekend, temps 29 to 33. Right now it's 14. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Let's fly away.
8 after 7, good morning to you. Joining us for the very first time on this Wednesday morning, the 9th of April. Lots of people flying into Adelaide today and this week for Gather Round, the busiest week, should I say, of the year for the Adelaide Airport, who are today making another big announcement at 10:30 this morning. They're going to announce that AirAsia will be flying internationally out of Adelaide. Direct flights to Bali from the 25th of June. And they're going to fly on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. From Bali, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. From Adelaide, from the 26th of June, they're going to have services Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. The Adelaide Airport's fast getting to the point there just won't be room for Qantas.
No.
And they're going to come begging. And they're going to be told,
another airport.
Jog on.
Yeah. No thanks, we're full. It is pretty amazing. What do the Qantas marketing department think about the coverage they're getting in South Australia? Do they ever sit down and scratch their heads and go, geez, why is everyone bagging us in Adelaide? Well, they deserve it. They deserve the ridicule. That Joe Aston book, the job that it does documenting the extent to which Joyce underinvested in new aircraft, that has to be part of it. They just haven't got enough new planes.
Must be. And the other thing is too, like anyone in business knows, there'd be plenty of Australians that would prefer, South Australians I mean, that would prefer to fly Qantas over anyone else because of the brand recognition, the reputation, and so it's Australian.
You reckon still?
Well, this is the thing. The moment, how many people in Adelaide, I bet you South Australians are more comfortable flying with other international carriers than just about any other major city in Australia. Yeah. Because we've all been programmed, we've been taught to do it. And you get on their planes and you go, actually, this is superb.
When Joe Aston did that session down at Riders Week, there would have been 300, 400 people in the crowd, all of them older, all of them probably more middle class, all travellers. He was being treated like a rock star, and I asked him a question about the how it was that Qantas went from being a brand that would invoke this outpouring of national pride, people would tear up watching the I Still Call Australia home ads.
Yeah.
I said, now I reckon in Adelaide, people feel more of an affinity with Singapore Airlines or Malaysian or even a Middle Eastern airline like Emirates and Qatar.
Mm-hmm.
And people in the audience started shouting out, yes! Like they were. It was like a sort of Qantas hate session.
They've trained us to think that way. In the next couple of hours, 104% retaliatory tariffs will be levied by the United States on China, who yesterday said they would not back down. They're not coming to the negotiating table. This is going to be a full-on, full-blown trade war, and markets that were looking good overnight deteriorated once it was confirmed that the deadline was coming and there was no negotiation. There were these huge tariffs that were in place. That will have huge impacts on Australia. And the issue of Australian beef has come up again. Have a listen to this exchange in the US Senate where some of this policy was being grilled, mind the pun, and there was a lot of discussion about Australian beef. Well, Mark Warner, a senator from Virginia, a Democrat, he heard enough of this and he sprang to Australia's defence.
We should be running up the score in Australia.
Ambassador Clear, answer the question on Australia. We have a trade surplus with Australia. We have a free trade agreement. Why? They are an incredibly important national security partner. Why were they whacked with a tariff?
Senator, despite the agreement, they ban our beef, they ban our pork.
So good on you, Mark Warner.
Can we vote for that guy?
Australia. I think so. Mark Warner of Virginia, you've got Australia's vote.
Andrew Robb, the former trade minister in the Howard government, wrote the best op-ed I've read from anybody about how to handle Trump yesterday, and he just said we shouldn't deal with this guy. He's just insulted us. It's disgusting. He just unloaded. It was so good. Hearing Trump getting traditional orthodox right-wing criticism, like the clarity with which people like Robb, who personally negotiated a lot of the free trade deals that we're talking about, like the job and revenue and profit benefits from it all have been absolutely immense.
Well, this is where I think we need to stop talking about left and right when it comes to Donald Trump, because he's in a whole other spot on the spectrum. Because if you look at the right, and I've said it, Javier Milei, one of the champions of the free market and free trade, was originally championed by the Trump people. It's like, we're going to be like this guy. He's pro free trade. Giorgia Meloni. You look at you look at plenty of right wing leaders in the European Union. Tony Abbott, Peter Dutton, Scott Morrison, the conservative, John Howard, conservatives in Australia are all of this way.
Totally.
Look at the US now. Look at previous Trump backers on everything else. Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Elon Musk overnight called Trump's trade advisor a moron.
He also said that he's as dumb as a box of bricks, dumb as a bag of bricks.
And then he tweeted out an apology to bricks.
He called him a worse thing than that, I wouldn't say on air.
He did.
Very disabled term. But at what point are the Bushes of this world, the George W's and so on, like the old school Republicans, are they just going to let this nut trash their party? Are they going to rise up at some point and go, someone will. There's going to be some credible person who's actually going to stand up and say, okay, this is where it's all going wrong.
Well, 4 Republicans crossed the floor on the Canada tariff question. There may well be more because, little known fact, this is where Democrats are pathetic in the United States, and they've been a pathetic party for a long time. Congress has carriage of tariffs. They can step in. They can step in. Why won't they? Probably because they're insipid.
Populism.
Probably because they're liking seeing Trump destroy himself this way.
They're waiting for prices to go up.
Yeah, that's right. Let's have a look at the big local story. And you started talking about this before the break. Kids fishing at West Lakes. I can relate to this. My favourite, we grew up living on the lake, and I love fishing. Used to go out fishing all the time. It was one of the best things you could do. Me and a couple of other local kids, we'd go out. You'd catch mullet or brim, nets for whitebait and so forth. It was just a great recreational activity. Well, apparently, in some places, it's not allowed anymore. And I would say this, typically when a video comes out of an aggressive exchange, I always think, what happened before the camera started rolling? I'm not sure in this case. This is adults talking to kids. Have a look on the Facebook and YouTube live stream and have a listen to this exchange.
You get the hell out of here immediately. Please. Otherwise, I'll snatch this phone out of your hand. Don't you film? The police are on the way.
Go.
Go, take this phone away.
Go.
Piss off.
Go away.
Go away. You go away.
And the teenage kids, their gear was picked up and thrown away, the fishing gear. The area they're in it looks like it's on Delphin Island to me, looking at the video there. It looks like it's probably part of the little runoff of the lake. So not the big wide lake as people might know it, but more where
the deli used to be.
The duck pond was.
There used to be a deli there for years.
Yeah, that's right. And now I think it became a dentist.
Near the bridge.
Hannah Ford on 7 last night caught up with one of the offenders.
I actually would say you can piss off. I did say this, yes.
Yes, right, okay.
These kids are being dropped off by parents. It's being treated like an unsupervised crèche.
We just thought enough is enough and we moved them on. The parents, they don't want to know about it. They think their kids are angels.
Here's, just before we get your thoughts, David, because I know you want to talk about this. Here's the rule. So what's the rule about fishing in the lake in this area? Here's the council CEO, Paul Sutton.
Fishing is permitted in the lake, but the fishermen need to be more than 6 metres away from any property boundary.
Now, we didn't play the whole video because there was a lot of cuss words in it. But it didn't. Let's just say that the exchange didn't get more genial.
Well, doesn't this jar with the orthodoxy, and you hear it so often about kids these days, foul language, getting around in menacing groups, threatening people, frightening people, randomly threatening people with no good reason. Well, who's doing all of that in this case? A bunch of adults, a bunch of so-called adults, picking on these poor kids. It would have been terrifying for those children. The kids have done nothing wrong, and I tell you, the police home care text line is 100% sticking behind these kids. Andrew says, I reckon there might be 10,000 people fishing at Delphin Island today, going on the back of the Facebook comments I read last night. Dave in Port Lincoln says, totally agree, guys. These adults need to get a massive serve. This is what we want kids to do. Get outside instead of being on the internet or breaking the law. Another one from Ian. Ian in Morphevale says, absolutely. Plus, they were fishing for carp. They're doing a great thing for the environment, off their devices, fresh air. More kids should be doing the same. Text after text saying that these kids are doing the absolute right thing, the sort of thing that, back in the 1940s and 50s, the good old days of the boys' own annual, where you do all sorts of outside activities, unstructured play, out in nature, You know, these ads, I actually reckon that the cops should have a quiet word to them about it, because I reckon their behaviour, they're actually breaking the law.
It was abusive.
Stand there swearing at the top of your lungs at children. I think you owe SAPOL an explanation about that.
There are two texts here, and this is why 5AA and Talkback is great, because you get the heart to these issues, because you're talking directly to people affected, that I think gives everyone else a little bit of background. So Ian says, the problem is where the kids are fishing. It's like a small sanctuary for wildlife, and I think it's inappropriate to be fishing in that spot. And then we got another text here saying Westlakes resident here. So no, Ian's from Westlakes, is another Westlakes resident. It's the freshwater duck pond the boys were fishing in. For years there's been a debate, should or should there not be fishing allowed there? This person says they were legally allowed to be doing what they're doing. And we're organising a fishing day on Sunday at the Westlakes Duck Pond. All are invited. So that actually gives us a bit of background. Sounds like there has been a fight going on here among residents with what's allowed. These kids have been caught in the crosshairs. They've been unfairly abused because there's a fight going on. But to the letter of the law, they're not doing anything wrong.
But isn't there a bigger point here? What is going on in the sad lives of these old miserable sods? That this is the number one thing that you get so upset about it that you're going to run out there, cameras rolling, screaming abuse at these kids. Like if they were there all night drinking, you know, Cougar bourbon cans and
graffitiing,
writing tags up and so on, go your hardest. But the problem is they're not. They're not.
And they're catching carp. Wasn't it like they were terrorising local bird life, as far as I can see?
See, I think, you know, all this. I know it's a trope of long-honoured trope of talkback radio. Oh, the children today. Oh, none of this would have happened in my day. They have no manners. Like, children invariably are the ones who, through all the NIMBYism you see in Adelaide, be it the shade sale that was going to go up down at Somerton over playground equipment that was going to interrupt the sea views for a handful of cashed-up millionaires, the hockey club around Hawthorn.
What about the jumps?
Jumps, I was going to get to that. You get a bunch of kids. No, that was in your area, near Nazareth. There were the kids there on the Torrens getting planks, getting their BMXs, making their own ramps and berms and everything else. People complain about that. Well, what do you want?
Like kids get blamed as of their own volition. They've all decided to go indoors and play computer games. But what's the world telling them? Yeah. Matt has called in. Matt is the father of some of the kids caught up in this whole fight. Matt, good morning to you.
Morning, fellas. How are you?
Good, thank you, Matt.
That's good. Yeah, so obviously, we live in the area. My son's taken, a liking to fishing. I love it that he's interested in fishing, gets him off the PlayStation, outdoors with his friends.
Totally.
I realise that this pond is, there's a lot of water in Westlake, so there's other areas to go, but at the end of the day, the kids catching a carp is a bit of a thrill because it's a heavier fish, they're using light tackle, and I actually popped around there earlier in the day, or about an hour before this actually happened, because I knew where my son was because I've got the app Life 360, so I could see where he was. So I went around there. There was about another six friends of his. They were playing the Crows match on the radio, and they're just fishing, having fun.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
So then I came home because I only live 2 minutes away. And within about probably an hour, my son's called me. He goes, Dad, they're yelling and screaming at us. They're throwing their stuff around. I said, okay, I'll be down there, call the police, which he did. And I think one of the residents called the police because within 5 minutes, there were 4 police officers down there, put us in separate groups and took, four of the lads left because I think they completely just, didn't know how to handle it. They were scared. I said, stay here, boys. Please don't. You're doing nothing wrong. Look.
Do you know, Matt, sorry to jump in, do you know, Matt, was it actually the adults who called the police, was it?
I think one of the residents called the police, but also my son did.
Yeah, right.
So the police got 2 phone calls.
Do you worry that your son might be too alarmed by what's happened to go back there now? Does he feel a bit scared off from doing it?
Look, he seems fine, and he says he's fine. He says he wants to still, he's not going to stop fishing. Look, my son's he's pretty resilient. He's a good boy. We feel we've raised him well. He's respectful.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have, mate. And the fact that you're ringing us and you describe, I mean, you should know, Matt, and tell your son this. Like, people are cheering him on for doing this, and they're overwhelmingly disgusted at the way those adults have behaved. It's bloody terrible.
Yeah, I know. And I think, the South Australian Recreation Fishing got on board to set up an event there this Saturday morning. So I think, in support of the lads. So it has been the overwhelming support for the boys.
Yeah.
And
good.
So I just
tell your hey Matt, tell your son we'll if he's keen, we'll get him on with Ned McHenry on the fishing show at some point.
Yeah, I actually heard that last night. I love Ned. That's fantastic.
No, good on you, Matt. Well, thanks for ringing, mate. We appreciate it.
There is the Rec Fish is organising the West Lakes Freshwater Pond Fishing Day Out.
Excellent.
But there is also a counter movement, a change.org permission to change the bylaws there. No fishing in the duck pond that's also up this morning. Which, you know what, if you wanted to change it, approach council and lobby them to change the bylaws as opposed to abusing kids. Like
people of West Lakes against fishing. Seriously.
But if there are adult ways of solving problems.
Hockey balls. People of Unley Park against permanent fences that have large openings in them so you can still get onto the Unley Oval. Like, these NIMBYs should just be herded off somewhere where they can all complain to each other about nothing.
All right, let's check traffic. And we'll come back with sport in just a moment. When you cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Big Sun Smart Check UV levels daily.
Thanks, Will. At Crayford's, unusual one. Koala sitting in the left lane of the freeway just before the Crayford's exit. Look out if you're heading that way this morning. Lons dark car on the embankment on the Southern Expressway near O'Sullivan's Beach Road. That's affecting outbound. We're slow at the moment. South Road at Tonsley's jump off the Southern Expressway, and busy Brighton Road, Glenelg East. Camera City Road, Largs Bay and Port Road at Alberton. Nissan's demo event is on now. Head into a participating Nissan dealer while stocks last to save big on demos before they're all gone. Ends April 30. See nissan.com.au/offers. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. It's time to celebrate because the Cherry Tiggo 4 Pro is the pick of the bunch as Drive's Car of the Year 2025. Best urban car under $30,000. Tell me more. Cherry pick your own at Southern Cherry Morphett Vale from $23,990 drive away. T's and C's apply.
Here's an important air conditioning tip from Morphett Air. Never give your teenagers control over the aircon remote. Your energy bills could go through the roof. Instead, for summer, set it around 21 degrees. It's the most energy efficient temperature. And if you turn it on early, before the teens are out of bed, your system will have less work to do, keeping your home cool all day. When it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morphett Air. morphettair.com.au.
Morphett Air.
We know you are concerned about SA's public hospital capacity and how long it can take to see a doctor. So are we. We need enough doctors to provide the safe, quality care you deserve. There are solutions for South Australia and it's not rocket science. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au and sign the petition to support our 3-point plan for enough doctors for South Australia. Authorised by Dr. David Pope, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
Get saving now with City Discount Tyres. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for 4-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttyres.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
Hi, Brett Ibbott here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. We've been doing deals on a huge range of 2024 plate Mazdas, and we've just received truckloads more of them, all priced to clear. These drive-away deals on new Mazdas include free 12 months rego, free stamp duty, and accessory packs worth $500. Yep, absolutely free. All exclusive to Mawson Lakes Mazda. No gimmicks, just great deals. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
Happy Easter from the Austrac Campers family. Whether you're hitting the road or enjoying a relaxing break, we hope you make the most of this long weekend. Happy camping, guys.
Austrac Campers.
This Easter, enjoy delicious Cadbury hot cross buns, now available at McCafe.
That's right. McDonald's has launched a special Easter treat, Cadbury hot cross buns packed with gooey Cadbury chopped chips, perfectly toasted and served with warm melted butter.
Pair your Cadbury hot cross bun with an expertly brewed barista-made coffee made with sustainably sourced 100% Arabica beans. Coffee from McCafe is smooth, rich, and comes with alternative milk options like oat, almond, soy, and lactose-free.
A toasted Cadbury hot cross bun and a barista-made coffee without even leaving the car. Not bad at all.
No, order today via drive-thru, McDelivery, in-store, or skip the queue by ordering ahead on the My Macca's app. McCafe Cadbury hot cross buns are available for a limited time only at participating locations.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
29 minutes after 7, we've got gather round tickets to give away, and we're going to do it on the other side of 5AA News. If you'd like to be part of the competition, get calling right now. Jono and Lucy ready to take your call on 8223 0000. We're going to ask you to pick from a category: footy, food or fun, the three essential elements of gather round. And if you are able to answer a question correctly from one of those categories, you're going to be getting a double pass to get along to gather round and see every single game at Adelaide Oval from Thursday with the Crows Geelong through to Sunday and at twilight with Port and Hawthorn, which suddenly Hawthorn will days out. Maybe there won't be
a lot riding on that
thousands of Hawthorn fans pretending to be aeroplanes.
No.
Makes it a little bit tougher for them.
They might be flying home in a funk.
8223 0000. Get calling now. That's coming up next. So too, the Premier of South Australia. Stick around.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 25 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. PhysioExtra.com.
The father of one of the children abused by adults for fishing at West Lake says there's overwhelming support from the community for the teenagers. The group were abused by local residents for fishing in the area despite the council bylaws allowing it, their equipment thrown around by the angry mob. Matt says the kids were terrified.
My son's called me. He goes, Dad, they're yelling and screaming at us. They're throwing their stuff around. I said, okay, I'll be down there. Call the police, which he did. And I think one of the residents called the police because within 5 minutes there were 4 police officers down there, put us in separate groups and took, 4 of the lads left because I think they completely just, didn't know how to handle it. They were scared.
The air highway has reopened after a fatal crash yesterday. An 83-year-old man from WA died after colliding with a truck. Senior Constable Rebecca Stokes says 25 people have now died on South Australian roads this year.
The truck driver's 47 and his passenger 52. All people in this crash were from Western Australia. They were not physically injured in the crash. And as I said, the air highway, they opened initially with contraflow just to get those vehicles moving who'd been parked up for several hours.
A 20-year-old man will face court today charged with a range of driving offences after allegedly causing a 2-car crash and running from the scene. He was seen getting into the car, which is allegedly stolen, at Elizabeth East armed with a machete at 4:45 yesterday afternoon, before crashing with another vehicle in the area. 20 minutes later, 2 women, 91 and 64, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The man arrested nearby. Fire Corps investigators will examine a destroyed shed at Woodside this morning after a midnight midnight blaze. A car and caravan were destroyed in the $120,000 fire. Tara Baird from the CFS says crews spent the night at the scene.
Thanks to their quick and skilled response, firefighters prevented it from spreading to the house and nearby properties. Crews will remain on scene for some time, using thermal imaging cameras to check for hotspots and extinguish any smouldering areas.
The coalition has released modelling showing household power bills would fall by around 3% under its promised gas policy. Energy prices have been a hot topic at the First Leaders' debate of the election campaign. The opposition claiming its plan to keep more gas in Australia would also benefit big industrial users and have flow-on effects across the economy. Liberal leader Peter Dutton says it's a sensible policy.
It will help bring down the prices for farmers and manufacturers and producers. And at the moment, the gas that we're exporting to foundation contracts and to many of our partners is important, but there is a lot of gas that's exported that we could turn back into the domestic market.
A former US ambassador is predicting a major shift in international relations in the wake of Donald Trump's tariff policies. China facing a 104% tariff due to its refusal to remove its 34% reciprocal tariff. While China has vowed to fight to the end, nearly 70 other countries have reached out to the White House seeking to begin talks. Arthur Sinodinos says it's unclear what the long-term effects will be.
It's by no means clear that this will achieve the objectives the Americans want, because if tariffs are going up all around the world, that's not necessarily going to be to China's disadvantage. China may remain at the centre of global manufacturing and critical minerals.
The nation's top economic officials, meantime, will today meet to discuss the possibility of a global trade war. The Treasurer calling an emergency meeting at the White House confirming US tariffs on Chinese imports will rise to 104%. And Donald Trump has signed an executive order to allow ageing coal-fired power stations stay open in the US. It's a response to increasing power demand from data centres, AI and electric vehicles. A 2023 report found 99% of US coal plants are more expensive to run than to replace with renewable energy sources. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Tom Wren, gather round, gathering pace.
It certainly is, and Port Adelaide's players, Matty, they're going to train this morning at Alberton as they prepare for Sunday's huge grudge clash against Hawthorn. Coach Ken Hinkley will address the media a little later this morning. The Crows will also train later this afternoon, and they have a light captain's run with much attention on whether Isaac Rankin is fit and will play tomorrow night, nursing a sore calf. Ross Lyon, meantime, says there's still a lot of improvement for St Kilda as they prepare to play the Giants in Gather Round. The Saints will be without forward Max King for at least the next 3 weeks after suffering a setback in his return from knee surgery. After 3 straight wins, the Saints coach telling Nine they're not getting ahead of themselves.
Well, we've got plenty of things to improve, James. Certainly, our spirit and our football character, to not get sidetracked and keep trusting in what we're asking them to do. Is we've got a good foundation of competition and pressure.
Arsenal has 1 foot in the semi-finals of the European Champions League following a stunning 3-0 win against Real Madrid this morning. Scores were locked at 0-0 at half-time before the Gunners went on a rampage in the second half, sending the home fans wild.
Arsenal have scored 3 times in 17 minutes against Real Madrid. They are in dreamland here.
It's amazing stuff. Audio there thanks to Optus. There was one other game this morning with Inter Milan recording a 2-1 win against Bayern Munich. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tommy. Checking the roads around Adelaide this morning.
Selling your commercial property for top dollar is made easier with the team at RWC Adelaide. Visit rwcadelaide.com.
At Pasadena, got a 3-car crash causing proper delays this morning. It's on 5 Ash Drive, just near Foodland, Pasadena. Big delays inbound at the moment. Got delays outbound on the Southern Expressway to Lonsdale. Car is in the embankment, Disney Sullivan's Beach Road. Those delays are outbound. We are slow for works, South Road at Clovelly Park, and the camera Jetty Road, Largs Bay. Say aloha to Hawaii and save up to $1,865 with Flight Centre. 7 nights in Waikiki with the family from just $2,599. Book now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Partly cloudy for Adelaide today. A top near 25. Cloud will clear tomorrow and 30. Then sunny days Friday across the weekend, ranging 29 to 33. Right now, 15. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hey there. Is your car's next service coming up? And Saturday is the only day you're available? Book your next service at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. We're famous for our next day servicing, which is now available Saturdays too. We do complimentary loan vehicles, free car wash and vacuum, or if it's an express service, enjoy Wi-Fi, coffee and snacks. If you have work to do, we have a business centre too. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for next day servicing. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
It can happen at any time, more often than you think. Suddenly, through illness or accident, you could lose the capacity to manage your financial or personal affairs. What happens next? Who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Introducing new Caruso's Bloaties. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve belly bloating, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Above the vibrancy of Kent Town, across the parklands to the shimmering city skyline, your view stretches endlessly, never to be built out, never to be lost. This is Parkline by Chase Crown, living above and beyond.
This incredible address offers the best of the East End just moments away, with the charm of the eastern suburbs surrounding you. Now, it isn't just a home, it's lifestyle redefined, crafted by an award-winning team renowned for impeccable quality, including the acclaimed 8 South Esplanade project.
Every detail is considered, every finish refined, delivering a sky home that exceeds all expectations. Parkline by Chase Crown is a statement of living above and beyond.
Opportunities like this are rare, so don't miss yours. Discover more at parklinekenttown.com.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. The Cherry Tiggo 4 Pro is the pick of the bunch as Drive's Car of the Year 2025. Best urban car under 30k. Cherry pick yours from Southern Cherry Morfettvale. T's and C's apply.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out, while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. walco.com.au.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 8. Gather round Eve. We've got gather round tickets to give away, not just any tickets, 4-day pass to every game at Adelaide Oval. Let's do it here and now. Footy, food or fun. Callers flooding in, thousands of them over the news break. The first to get through was Bridget and Lockleys. Bridget, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, Bridget, footy, food or fun, which category would you like a question from?
I'm going to choose food.
Okay, food. In his playing days, Gary Ablett Jr. would have Wheat Bix for breakfast. How many would he eat each morning? Here are your options, Bridget.
All right.
5, 8 or 13?
Ooh.
What do you reckon?
I'm gonna go 13.
Sorry, Bridget.
bad luck,
Let's go
Bridget.
to Wayville. Kim, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. Kim, you want the same question or something different?
Oh, well, it's a 50-50 now between 5 and 8. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Let's hit up 8.
Kim, you're going to gather round. Mate, next morning. Gary Ablett Jr. loved his Wheat Bix, and you'll love them too after that. So you are getting along to every single game at Adelaide Oval for Gather Round. We have one more opportunity to give this specific ticket away. It's going to happen before 9 o'clock this morning, so make sure you stay listening. Footy, food or fun, it's what this week is all about in Adelaide.
We haven't spoken to our next guest for a couple of weeks. He was in India, and then last week, obviously, our attention was on the calling of the federal election and also the upheaval with Donald Trump's tariff announcements last Thursday. But we've got Premier Peter Malinauskas on the line. Premier, good morning. Good to talk to you after a couple of weeks' absence. Can we just start? We were specifically talking the other day on air about AUKUS and the real, I guess, softening of the relationship between Australia and the US in light of the tariff decision. You've been a huge champion of AUKUS. Do you have concerns for its future viability in light of what we've seen in the last week?
I have concerns, Dave, about what we've seen in the last week, but I don't have concerns about AUKUS. And the reason why I say that is sort of twofold. Firstly, everything that the Trump administration has said about the AUKUS arrangement thus far has been positive. There hasn't been a single negative comment that I'm aware of from the Trump administration about AUKUS, only positive ones. So, I mean, people sort of say, talk about the tariffs. We should remember that what Donald Trump is doing in respect to tariffs is exactly what he said he was going to do. As disappointing or as crazy as it may seem, he said he was going to do it. So, and in respect to AUKUS, he's saying he's going to do that too. So,
but what about the UK though, Premier? Because they're now reviewing the AUKUS agreement because of all the tariffs and so forth. That surely gives
there's a parliamentary inquiry into their future submarine building program, but the United Kingdom government or the British government have said that their position on AUKUS is crystal clear and they're totally committed to it. So I think what we're going to be a bit careful about, and I've said this a couple of times, is every time a politician somewhere stands up and says something critical about AUKUS, and that's going to happen. I mean, Malcolm Turnbull's certainly doing it. Former Prime Minister. We see parliamentary inquiries. We see expert commentators will make negative comments about AUKUS. That is going to happen a lot, right? And I think we should brace ourselves for that. What we have to pay attention to is the people who are making decisions. What are they saying? And every single president or prime minister from the UK or Australia, across both Conservative governments and Labor governments, Democratic, Republican, they have all been utterly at one and consistent about their unified support of AUKUS. And I think that's what matters most. And there's no suggestion there is no suggestion that is changing. In respect to the program, more broadly in the long term, the second reason why I still remain entirely confident and bullish, and I think we're going to get on with the task, is this is a program that was designed by its nature to last across administration in terms of government. It is literally a 40-year program. So I think AUKUS transcends the next 3 3/4 years of the Trump presidency and of the presidency that follows that. So that's why I think we just all got to get on with the task and make sure we execute the policy.
So what's a bigger threat to AUKUS then? Donald Trump or federal Labor and the federal coalition having a reverse bidding war as to how many overseas students they can keep out of Australia?
I think the reverse bidding war on overseas students crazy, Dave. And I'm out on the record on this. This is something where there's a point of departure between me and Albo on, and even more so in respect to Peter Dutton. And the reason why I say that is because international students bring all the money, and this is not a popular view, but I believe it to be true, and I think I owe it to the community to be honest about it. But all international students, they pay and underpin all of the R&D research that is conducted in this country. And people say, we need to have a more productive economy. I agree. But the single biggest driver of a productive economy isn't reducing people's wages. That does the opposite. What underpins productivity is making every unit of labour more productive, and that is achieved through technology and the use of it thoughtfully. And all of that technological development exists within our universities. So we cut funding to universities. That means we cut research and development, which means we cut our own productivity, which means we undermine the case for people's real wages going up, which I think is a position of madness, which is why I'm happy to call it out for both Liberal and Labor.
Premier, the Ties are reporting this morning new court documents with regard to the Cortamenta, the administrator of the Wireless Steelworks, saying that it's unlikely that we can continue One Steel business operations beyond 6 months from our appointment. Is it clear to you how much more money South Australian taxpayers are going to have to tip into keeping the steelworks operational until a buyer is found?
So there's two parts to that. First part, I've been crystal clear that we remain absolutely committed to making sure that the administration is funded, and we have always anticipated that would be at least a 12, or I've actually been on the record repeatedly saying we think it's going to be an 18-month exercise. And the reason why we are doing the funding of administration in conjunction with the federal government, it's a 50-50 funding split, is because we know that the amount that the administration costs will change. In fact, it will reduce in each 6-month tranche. So the first 6 months is always going to be the most expensive because you've got to invest working capital, and there's a lot of maintenance and, quite frankly, safety work that needs to be done in the plant in order to be able to get it up to a position for sale. And that was always going to be more expensive in the first 6 months than the second 6 months and then the third 6 months. So this is playing out exactly as both the state and the federal government anticipated. I think one of the major expenses in this first 6 months was making sure that the plant had enough coking coal or metallurgical coal to keep the blast furnace going because, you know, Gupta had run it down to a wafer-thin margin that didn't make it sustainable. So you've got to invest in what is required. The steelworks is employing more people at the moment because they cut it to the bone, so their overtime bill was more expensive. So these types of things have a cost, and that's always going to be higher.
So the cost might be decreasing, but it sounds like at some point in time, sometime very soon, at the very least listening to Quarter Mentha, you guys are going to have to announce how much more money is going to be tipped in, though. Yeah,
we always anticipated we would do that as we approach the 6-month mark. Yes.
Okay, right. So when is that announcement going to be made?
Oh, when it's appropriate and we get an idea of what it will be. And
so we don't know yet.
No, we don't, but we do anticipate it will decrease the run rate of expenditure. That's the advice that we've received both before it went into administration and after. And any announcement around that extension, what it will look like, which is what we've always planned for, we would anticipate would be an announcement between myself and whoever the Prime Minister is after the election. And I will note this, there is far more clarity around Prime Minister Albanese's position on this matter versus what is the case with the alternate Prime Minister. Now, Mr Dutton, to his credit, has said he's committed to the steelworks, but any sort of clarity that we can get about what that commitment looks like is welcome.
Just finally, Premier, let the children fish. Will that be your message today?
Oh, I like the idea of kids fishing. I haven't actually seen the footage. I've heard the chat on the radio this morning. Yeah, I haven't actually had a chance to see it. But here's my view, right? I want kids off phones and screens. I've been reading even since the legislation passed the federal parliament last year that mobile phone ban that we started here in SA and that social media age limit. There's been more and more literature that's come out in the last 3 or 4 months about the nature of addiction to kids on screens and phones. So we want them out doing other things, right? And I don't care if they're playing a violin, netball or footy or fishing, right? It's all good stuff. So, like I said, I haven't seen the footage and I don't know, so I don't want to make a remark out of context, but as a matter of principle, if kids are out fishing, I like the idea of adults getting around them and saying, oh, good to see you, fellas or ladies, hope you catch something. What have you caught today? That'd be that'd be the sort of conversation I'd hope to see.
Yeah, 100%. Peter Malinauskas, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for joining us this morning on 5AA.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's check traffic. When you cover things, they last longer, and the same goes for you. Be SunSmart. Check UV levels daily.
Thanks, Will. Got a 3-car crash causing really big delays at Pasadena at the moment. It's on 5 Ash Drive near Pasadena Foodland. Delays back to the Southern Expressway at the moment. It's Lonsarka on the embankment on the Southern Expressway, North O'Sullivan's Beach Road affecting outbound. We're pretty slow at the moment at Main North Road at Enfield. Getting busy, Tapley's Road, Glenelg North with the camera, Port Road at Alberton. Avita Motorhomes and Caravans is celebrating 60 years of manufacturing in Australia with great 60-month offers on all new Avitas. Limited time only, avitarv.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Deliver more with Toyota, the world's #1 forklift brand. Choose from a great range including pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift. If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. On time, on budget, on the job.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes, a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. This extraordinary display home will be ready to experience soon in Craigburn Farm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
1 minute you're taking a test drive at Edwardstown Mazda, the next, sipping cocktails in Bali. Oh, cheers. Buy a car from Edwardstown Mazda and win the ultimate Bali holiday. Flights, accommodation and activities. Plus, score up to $8,000 in savings across the entire Edwardstown Mazda range. Your new car and Bali holiday are waiting only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
It's gotta be.
Now, where is my suitcase?
Now, one thing you won't find at Rosino Outdoor Furniture is boring. I was checking out their website. It's terrific. Rosino is home to designer style without the designer price tag. That means you get great outdoor furniture without spending a fortune.
Yeah, walk past their shop at Westlakes. It's sensational. If you're looking for an outdoor lounge or extra dining chairs for entertaining, or maybe something that will finish off the look of your outdoor area, well, Rosino Outdoor, they've got it all. Fire pits, outdoor cushions, rugs, vases, artwork, and more, perfect for making your outdoor home stylish, comfortable and uniquely yours.
And it's not just about looks, because Rosino furniture is built to last. Now's the perfect time to visit their brand new store at Westlake Shopping Mall next to Kmart. They're clearing ex-demo and brand new stock to make space, so you'll find some incredible deals right now, like pots and vases from just $5.
But don't miss out. Pop into Rosino and razz up your outdoor area today. Visit the new Rosino Outdoor Store at Westlake Shopping Mall next to Kmart, or visit rosinofurniture.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Bit of Belinda Carlisle to get you up and about this morning, Will.
5 minutes to 8. I love when you back announce.
Oh, yeah.
You got a future in FM radio, my friend.
Nova are having a crack at us about the Albo stuff, apparently. I just was talking to Jody.
What have we done now?
I think they thought we were a little bit disparaging about their mystery sound and so forth.
Oh. We would never be.
Fight fire with fire.
Nothing but genuine affection for the FM band here.
I told her we loved her and that we're just trying to be rude about the Prime Minister.
Hazy and Jody are sensational.
They are.
With Gather Round Fever here, just a reminder, we're going to be live from the Macca's Festival of Footy on Friday morning. You can come see us at Elder Park. All thanks to Macca's. It was a lot of fun last year getting down there. Just about the entire Australian media is all sort of in one space, and there's us sort of on a deck chair and on a card table in one corner, and then you've got Sunrise and Today looking like the NBC's Today show has been brought to town right next to us.
I love the fact too that Karl Stefanovic's entire focus for the day was what time would he be arriving at the Rockford Winery.
The Minecraft movie Happy Meal is here. Build your world with 12 limited edition toys. The whole family will love. Get yours at Macca's, limited time only. Should we do some police home care texts?
Let's do it. We've got a whole pile about the fishing just off the charts, and overwhelmingly, people are saying, let the kids fish. They just can't believe that this whole furor has erupted. And apparently there's signs up that say no fishing down there. Well, they weren't put up by the council. They weren't put up by PIRSA. They weren't put up by the state government. They were put up by the handful of narcs who are so fired up about this that they've gone to the trouble of heading down to their local office works to get their pathetic signs laminated to make it look like it's some official decree that the kids aren't allowed to fish. It's just ridiculous. And also, we have spoken to Ned McHenry. We talked before to Matt, the father of one of the boys in that distressing video where they're having all their stuff thrown around by these old yahoos, being sworn at, being told to pee off and everything else. So Ned is going to get in touch with Matt and Matt's son and get Matt's son on the fishing show.
Here was Ned McHenry on the fishing show last night.
I am so fed up and so angry with these absolute moron adults that have had a go at these kids, these Karens that are legally fishing, getting off their PlayStations, legally fishing. Stuff you, you absolute moron flogs.
So, Ned, I think it was pretty clear what side the debate he was on, fishing show champion.
Can I just say, though, on behalf of everyone who's listening called Karen, can we take that word out of the vocabulary?
You're very defensive of the Karens, aren't you?
Well, I know a lot of nice women called Karen.
Karen Carpenter?
Karen Carpenter. Well, I didn't know Karen Carpenter.
No, you feel like you do.
I have a huge amount of respect for music. But no, you've been Karen all your life, and suddenly you're somehow the flashpoint for anyone who says, I want to speak to the manager.
We got a really funny text, and I can't find it because I've got so many, but I presume it was a Port fan a little bit earlier about this, saying, imagine being a kid on Saturday afternoon, you go fishing, neck minute, Crows lose by a point with a controversial umpiring decision, and the angry denizens of Westlake stumble out in a Chardonnay-induced furor, looking to take out their anger on something or someone. I thought it was very funny. Sorry, I can't.
How do we know they're all Crow supporters?
Well, I think
there's a lot of Port people down that way too.
I think it was a very funny text. 5AA News is on the way.
I want to hear from Karens.
Okay, aggrieved Karens.
Karen.
I mean, you've never complained in your life.
Yeah, we'll be able to get something for you. We'll have Karen on the show. We'll get him one of those Charlesworth things, maybe. We'll talk. Our great friends at Charlesworth, they always help us out. If you're a Karen and you want to go nuts, we'll give you some nuts.
Breaking 8 coming up next.
Here's something to think about. Over 80% of NRG Solar customers add a battery, simply because it just makes perfect sense. With solar and battery storage, it's like having 24 hours of sun powering your home even when the sun's down. More savings, more independence, and no more bill shock. Make the smart switch. Talk to the NRG Solar team today. Call 1300 858 160. Write that number down, 1300 858 160.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. With Adelaide's reputation for major events and festivals, it's not just our city that's attracting attention, our property market is too. With a majority of our best buyers last year purchasing from interstate or internationally, this period offers homeowners a unique chance to showcase their property to a wider audience. Whether it's expats returning home or investors drawn to Adelaide's lifestyle and opportunities, at Toop and Toop, we have proven strategies to help you take full advantage of this moment. Our team works proactively to match the right buyers with the right homes, ensuring no opportunity is missed. So if you're thinking of selling, we'd love to help. Visit toop.com.au. Toop and Toop, Adelaide's trusted real estate advisors.
Right now, Suzuki in the City is clearing Suzuki Vitara demos starting from $24,888 with the biggest range of colours to choose from and the biggest savings. Only at Suzuki in the City. T's and C's apply.
Get your wheels from Suzuki in the City.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy today and 25 with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
A fishing day out has been organised for this weekend by the Recreational Fishers Group at West Lakes after some local residents abused children fishing in the lake during the week. The angry adults threw the children's fishing gear around, yelling at them and abusing them that they couldn't fish there despite council bylaws allowing it. Some children fled, others called parents and police. Matt is the father of one. He told David and Will it was terrible grown-up behaviour which has deeply impacted the children.
He seems fine, and he says he's fine. He says he's not going to stop fishing. Yeah, look, my son, he's pretty resilient. He's a good boy. We feel we've raised him well. He's respectful.
A car and caravan have gone up in flames inside a shed at Woodside in the Adelaide Hills. Firefighters called to a property at midnight. They managed to stop the fire spreading to the nearby home. At this stage, the fire's being treated as suspicious, damage at $120,000. The Prime Minister and opposition leader have clashed on energy policy as the coalition promises cheaper power prices if elected. Federal politics reporter Zach De Silva.
Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton have gone head-to-head for the first debate of the election campaign
campaign, with the cost of energy high on the agenda. Just after the debate, the Coalition released new details about its plan to get more gas into the system. It claims the policy would reduce household power bills by around 3%. Mr Dutton says the benefits would also extend to Australian industry.
It will help bring down the prices for farmers and manufacturers.
But Mr Albanese says the opposition leader's plan is full of flaws.
He disagrees with all of the experts.
The PM has been voted the winner of the leaders' debate by a 9-point margin.
The United States has implemented 104% tariffs on China as the Trump-imposed deadline passes. Several economists warning Australia risks slipping into recession if the tariffs are set in stone. There's growing expectation the Reserve Bank will need to slash interest rates next month to support the economy. Strong housing demand, tight supply and a resilient economy have seen home values surge by 39% over the last 5 years. But CoreLogic Head of Research Tim Lawless says the growth remains well below historic peaks.
Go back to the early 2000s and we saw housing values rising by about 80% over the 5 years ending December 2003. So while quite extreme housing conditions, it certainly has been seen before, though quite rarely.
United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has strongly condemned Israel's ongoing blockade of Gaza. Food, medicine and fuel have not been allowed to enter the Strip for over a month. Mr Guterres saying the floodgate of horror has reopened, and he's rejected a new Israeli proposal to control aid deliveries in Gaza, saying it risks further callously limiting aid down to the last calorie and grain of flour.
Let me be clear. We will not participate in any arrangement that does not fully respect the humanitarian principles. Humanity, impartiality, independence and neutrality.
At least 44 people have died, more than 134 injured, with a roof falling at a nightclub in the capital of the Dominican Republic. The governor of Monte Cristi amongst those killed, crews still searching for potential survivors. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matty. Adelaide will name its side tonight to take on Geelong in a match that will kick off gather round. The Crows will train this afternoon and are sweating on the fitness of forward Isaac Rankin, who's battling a calf issue. Rankin telling 9 News he's feeling better the longer the week goes on.
At this point, all I know is I'm feeling good, and the process of recovering is on track, and it's getting better every day. So Nixie will make that call.
Ports players will also train this morning as they prepare for Sunday's clash against Hawthorn, which will be played on Sunday. Well, players will get one final look at Augusta today as they prepare for the US Masters, which begins tomorrow night. 5 Aussies will be in the field, including Australia's only ever winner, Adam Scott, who's been paired with Xander Schauffele and Victor Hovland. Exciting times in the athletics world, with 17-year-old Leah O'Brien breaking the under-18 national women's record for the 100-metre event, and that was held by the legendary Raylene Boyle for 57 years. The West Aussies' time of 11.14 seconds at the National Junior Athletics Championships in Perth, catching the eye of many around the world. Let's go to soccer. Arsenal has recorded a huge result, smashing Real Madrid 3-0. That was in the opening leg of their Champions League quarter-final tie in London this morning. The return leg will be played in Spain next week. There was one other match this morning with Inter Milan 2-1 winners against Bayern Munich. And in some cricket to finish, 2 games in the IPL overnight. Mitch Marsh smashing 81 to help his Lucknow Supergiants to a 4-run win against the Kolkata Knight Riders. And in the other game, the Punjab Kings had an 18-run win against the Chennai Super Kings. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking your drive to work and school this morning.
Selling your commercial property for top dollar is made easier with the team at RWC Adelaide. Visit rwcadelaide.com.
Delays clearing from an earlier smash at Pasadena 5S Drive near Pasadena Foodland. Still got that car up the embankment at Lonsdale. It's on the Southern Expressway near O'Sullivan's Beach Road. It says you're heading outbound. Slow for work South Road, Karata Park, getting busy Main North Road at Enfield with the Carragetti Road, Larks Bay. Based on the best-selling book series Dogman, the movie is now in cinemas. It's fun for the whole family and the perfect choice for the kids these school holidays. Dogman, only in cinemas now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
For your next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Partly cloudy, 25 today, cloud clearing tomorrow and 30, sunny on Friday and across the weekend, temps 29 to 33. Right now 15. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Experience the magic of Barossa at the 2025 Vintage Festival, April 23 to 27. Get ready for over 85 events, including long lunches, exclusive tastings, live music, art and heritage experiences. Feel the excitement of bidding at Zygon Market, test your skills at the Grape Stomp, run around the vines of Lindock, or discover new events Barossa Big Sing and Club Vintage. The Barossa invites you to come and celebrate Vintage 2025 with us. Tickets are selling fast. Go to barossavintagefestival.com.au.
Grab your favourite choc top and some popcorn and enjoy a day of fun on the big screen at Wallace. From animated movies, adventure, drama, comedy, or maybe something a little scary, Wallace has a movie for everyone. And you can become a My Wallace member and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Your school holiday entertainment is covered at Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noarlunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment. Book now at wallace.com.au.
Fresh seafood, factory direct prices, unbeatable value. It's all at Samtas Seafoods. With rising costs, Samtas bring real value you can count on, like super fresh local gar fillets, just $38.99 a kilo, light, tasty and healthy.
And for something rich, clean and delicious, try premium ocean trout fillets, only $42.99 per kilo. And as you know by now, Samtas has Adelaide's largest display of fresh ocean-caught seafood 7 days a week. You have to see it to believe it.
And look, with Easter next week, Samtas still delivers budget stability. Adelaide's best dealer deals, mix and match 4 kilos premium seafood, just $60 still. Barramundi, dory, flathead, salt and pepper squid, Atlantic salmon, just $60.
And for 5AA listeners only, any sweet chili or Cajun Atlantic salmon kebab, just $5 each. One's perfect with salad. 2 if you're really hungry. 3 if you're feeling like having some fun. Incredible value, but only till Sunday.
That's right. Samtas Seafoods, 201 Richmond Road, Richmond. I'll see you there. Factory direct prices, open 7 days. For top quality seafood, huge variety and the best value, it's always Samtas.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
9 minutes after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. We're also going to chat with the South Adelaide Footy Club. Now, South Adelaide have been dudded by Gather Round. It does a good job of...
By Geelong.
Yeah, that's probably right. I should be more specific about it. They've been dudded by Geelong, and they'll feel dudded by the whole process because now they're the only the Sandford club that doesn't have an AFL training session, which they were promised, but Geelong... obviously so close to the action as Geelong typically is, decided that,
too far.
It was a little too far to travel. The club aren't particularly happy with this. We're going to be talking to them after 8:30 today. Also, Alex Neal-Bullen is not too far away. Now, before the break, you put out the call for Karens to assemble.
Hashtag justice for Karens.
Because you don't like the term Karen.
Don't like it.
And a Karen has responded. Karen in South Plympton. Good morning, Karen.
Hello, Will and Dave. Yeah, I heard Dave say that he wanted to hear from a Karen. So here I am. I'm a Karen. So I
Karen,
thought I'd give you a call.
We're thrilled that you have Karen. So 3 years ago, you're just minding your business, being Karen. You've been Karen all your life. And suddenly Karen becomes this pejorative term, a negative put-down word. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's very annoying, actually, to be quite honest. We haven't done anything wrong. It's a nice name. I've always been happy with my name, and I still like it, even though, it's become, Karen, hashtag Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Leith play that last night, actually, Ned. Ned's a good bloke, but, I wish he just left the Karens out of it.
So when you go out to dinner with your friends, Karen, and say the salad doesn't come out, it's not up to you to complain, is it?
No,
Okay.
no. But, I'm just like anyone else. I'm I'm the type of person, I say I'm a call a spade type of person.
Okay.
But no, I don't kick up a fuss unless there was something that, that anyone else would kick up a fuss about. I'm normally pretty easygoing and I'm just like anyone else, really. I'm not, I would never behave like I saw them on the Channel 7. I've got to give it, the Channel 7. I always watch Channel 7 News.
I knew I liked you, Karen.
Yeah. But I saw the morons on the Channel 7 News last night, and I thought, I've never behaved like that in my life. And can I just say, on the fishing, the kids fishing, I think it's the crazy world that kids grow up in these days. I mean, it was so different to as I was a youngster in the 70s. What's wrong with them having a bit of fun, going out doing a bit of fishing, because they really do. Kids today are just growing up in such a crazy, crazy world, aren't they?
100%. 100%.
Good on you, Karen.
Yeah, thank you.
Good on you, Karen. Thanks so much for calling.
Yeah, really, quite generously, we said to Karen, we'll give you a prize for calling in. And she said, no.
She didn't want one.
She wanted to come in just to represent Karen's as a good citizen without needing any sort of lure.
Great call.
What a great Karen.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go breaking at 8.
Well, the fallout from the Chinese student dodgy voting fiasco that is embroiling the Adelaide City Council continues to deepen. It emerged overnight off the back of a question on notice that was put to the Adelaide City Council that somehow the council has clocked up a staggering legal bill, even though it's not even a party to the court case between former councillor Alex Hyde and the bloke who knocked him off for the Central Ward council position, Jing Lee. The total cost so far to ratepayers is $96,000, and it's probably going to increase more. Now, none of this is a knock on the Lord Mayor, because none of this had anything to do with her, but with the court resuming the hearing this Friday, I really wonder how it is, and maybe it's just sort of legal advice about contingency planning. Maybe it's legal advice about the possible impact of a by-election on the council, because the Electoral Commission is now recommending that not just Jing Lee, but the other 3 Central Ward councillors who were elected have their positions vacated and a by-election held, which will be yet another significant cost to the community. But I sent a text to Councillor Henry Davis, who has been vocal about this, and we've got Henry on the line now. Councillor, thanks for joining us and joining us on the fly. I thought I'd come back to you because we did have you on the show the other day. Can you work out how the council's managed to spend so much money, given that it's not even a party in this case?
No, it's completely outrageous. So I'm a lawyer and I run my own actions, and I've recently just conducted an 8-day trial which lasted a year and a half. Huge volumes of documents, and we spent about $200,000. They've spent half of that not even participating in a court case. My understanding, and I've been told, that they were sending 2 lawyers along just to go and watch, and a staff member, and that would have had the cost of, maybe $750 an hour just to go and watch the court case unfolding. So it's completely outrageous.
That's crazy. Nice money if you can get it. The other thing, so this is all coming to a head again on Friday, isn't it? In the district court, sitting as the Court of Disputed Returns, and that was right what I said, wasn't it? The Electoral Commission thinks that all 4 of the councillors should be vacated, meaning would have to have a by-election, will be not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how the Electoral Commissioner has gone from opposing this action for the last almost 3 years to now saying that the whole Central Ward should be vacated. But I think they've spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars as well fighting this court case, where the court has ultimately found that illegal practices have occurred in the Central Ward elections. But the other thing we should now think about is in South Ward, for example, there was a 6-vote margin, and Councillor Lee submitted by email 88 ballots to sign people up in South Ward. So where there's a 6% margin, he's put in 88 sign-ups in South Ward. Has the same thing happened there as well. So the problem is greater for the whole of the City of Adelaide. I really question whether the entirety of the council shouldn't be sacked, and we should go to the polls now, given that this is hanging over us and there's serious questions about the area council of South Ward, Lord Mayor and Central Ward. This is a huge fiasco. Wouldn't
the counter argument be, well, the term's almost up anyway? Or is that sort of saying, okay, we know it wasn't democratic. Let's just stick with it anyway.
That's a terrible argument. No, absolutely not.
That's why you're a lawyer and I'm not.
Oh, well, the dictator's not doing such a bad job. I mean, foreign interference in our elections, it's not that bad, is it?
But there are some people who are trying to make that argument, though, aren't there?
Yeah, well, they shouldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what?
Yeah, fair enough.
It's outrageous. Yes. No, the whole council should be sacked. I mean, democracy is really important. We fought really bloody hard for it. And we've got a situation now where we're building the world's most advanced weapon delivery system. Of course there are going to be people who are very interested. Of course foreign nations are going to be interested in getting any leverage we can. We had a senator not that long ago who was found to be embroiled in a scandal and of a similar, and they had to resign as a state senator here in South Australia. So we need to take this very seriously. And last night I moved a motion to ask for a report onto how we spent this $100,000 and how could we possibly spend $100,000. The council refused to get that information. They didn't want to even know the question to it. And I also asked whether we can recover our legal fees from those actors, and they didn't want to look at recovering it either. And Councillor Lee, who hasn't been attending council for months and months, or really the entire term, also sits on the Australia Day Council. And so last night I moved that we rescind his appointment to the Australia Day Council and the Botanic High School. And the Lord Mayor said that that wouldn't be procedurally fair to remove him from these positions. So I have no idea what the Adelaide City Council is thinking at the moment. And I called a special meeting 2 weeks ago. They didn't turn up to that, and they just don't want to deal with this issue, which I just find completely outrageous.
Henry Davis, Adelaide City Councillor, thanks for joining us for Breaking It. Just to round this out, Jing Lee, the councillor at the centre of all this, he put up a statement on Instagram last night, or whatever social media thing he uses, sent to his council colleagues saying, "Colleagues and friends, I was coming to tonight's meeting, but something came up.
No.
Hence apology for tonight." This sounds like his farewell statement. "In my 20 years in Australia, the past 3 years was by far the most rewarding life experience. I got to see things and people which are eye-opening." Yeah, indeed. As he said, "The price is high, but the experience definitely worthwhile. My only regret is that I hadn't had the opportunity to make the contribution I planned to and didn't manage to build a relationship with many of you. I think most of you are really good people, and I wish you well. Keep smiling, and I'll see you around."
It does sound like a farewell.
Yeah, that's adios. Adios and via con Dios. May your God go with you.
I like this text on the police home care text line, entirely unrelated to Breaking It, directed to a previous caller. It says, "Calm down, Karen. For years, Johns have been synonymous with using prostitutes. You'll survive."
I like the one here. Julie, thinking outside the square, says, "How about we just replace Karen with Myrtle? There can't be many Myrtles around." See, I reckon there would be. Would have a listener called Myrtle.
And maybe Myrtles never complain.
Well,
I've never heard of a Myrtle complaining.
If Myrtle wants to call and complain about the prospect of being the new Karen, give us a call, Myrtle.
All right. Thank you. Let's check traffic. When you cover things, they last longer. The same goes for UV Sunsmart. Check UV levels daily.
Thanks, Will. Adelaide Park got a crash, Goodwood Road near Ormond Avenue, affecting city-bound. Regency Park, twisted traffic light South Road near Katina Street. Works to look out for in Modbury North, Golden Grove Road near Milne Road, and we are slow for work South Road, Edwardstown. Camera 2 this morning, Hanson Road at Wingfield. Forwards drive away deals, Ranger XLT model year 25.25 from 60k drive away for APN holders only. Recommended price at participating dealers, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
I strongly believe in karma. I believe that if you do the right thing, eventually things will come to you.
I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in the footy god. I don't believe in what goes round comes round. We got screwed.
Do you believe
I'm about now. I don't have a rear view mirror or a front windscreen.
The 5AA Sports Show.
I'm about today, now, and now we got screwed.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Why rent your power when you can own it? It's a serious question. Why rent your power when you can own it? NRG Solar and Battery Storage gives you control, protecting you from energy prices and unexpected bills. Remember, every dollar you invest today moves you closer to long-term savings and comfort without the bill shock. Take more control of your energy and savings today. Jump online and visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Gather round the new Macca's Minecraft world. See how versatile Gather is? Minecraft, if you don't know, is the video game with all the blocks, one of the biggest games in the world, and now it's got a Macca's twist.
Love Macca's, and apparently inside the Minecraft world, there's a whole new Macca's world with hidden nuggets, mini games, even golden arches you can explore.
So while the kids are building pixelated burgers, we can be ordering the real deal. Big Macs, nuggets, and maybe a cheeky frozen Coke while we're at it. It's for a limited time, so whether you're a Minecraft master or just trying to keep up with your grandkids, now's the time to check out the McDonald's Minecraft launch.
Quarter pounder with bacon and extra pickle. Craft your own adventure with the Minecraft Happy Meal at Macca's with 12 toys to collect. It's fun for the whole family, limited time only.
Hi, Daniel Talley here, General Manager of Home. That's H-A-U-M-E. Put simply, we buy homes. We don't charge fees, there's no advertising costs or commissions, none of that. We just make the process of selling your home easy. So if you're looking to downsize and have a home built before the 90s, we'll be able to help you save time, money and the effort it takes to sell. Thinking of downsizing? Visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
Next time you pour Fluorio milk into your coffee or tea, over your cereal or in your smoothie, you're closer to being an SA dairy farmer than you think. 100% of Fluorio Co milk comes from our state's best dairy farmers and their families. So when you buy any Fluorio milk product, you become part of that big family too, doing your bit to support our farming families. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes after 8, there's all sorts of pushback with people who feel like their name has been used inappropriately over the course of the journey. The Karens, of course, we spoke about a little bit earlier. We heard from a Karen. And then we heard about a John who's sick of being, synonymous with being a customer of a prostitute. And then there was a Nigel No Friends who's just texted us on the Police Home Care text line. And now the Myrtles are having their say as well.
Well, there's Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter.
She lives in the toilet.
Yeah.
Another person says, my mother was Myrtle and she was the most amazing, uncomplaining person ever. And Emma Littlehampton says, my grandma was the most incredible woman I've ever met in my life, and she was the ultimate Myrtle. You definitely can't use Myrtle. Well, we won't be, Emma.
No, we won't.
We'll retire that one.
Yeah, that was Julie's idea. We don't endorse it.
All right, let's talk footy.
Alex Neal-Bullen. Neal-Bullen's going to kick a goal, I think. Bending it, he kicked it.
Neal-Bullen, he can make the ball talk.
Neal-Bullen kicks a goal. Alex Neal-Bullen, it's a party at this moment. Alex Neal-Bullen.
I suspect he enjoys the distinction, Alex Neal-Bullen, being the first footballer to have played as a part of a visiting side on the Thursday night of Gather Round and then for the home side the following year. Good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
Of course, you were out there last year with the D's, mate, running around.
Yeah, we kicked off things last year, Gather Round. Actually, a few days before, I was standing in the press conference, the Gather Round press conference, in my D's gear alongside Jordan Dawson. And 12 months later, he's my captain. So a lot changes in footy, but 12 months later, here I am.
That is crazy. Was the seed in the back of your mind? Like when you were playing last year, were you thinking, I could be back home in 12 months?
Yeah, not that early on. I actually got a question in the press conference. Someone asked me, had I ever entertained coming back to Adelaide? And at that point, hand on heart, had never entertained it. And my answer, I was in game mode, so I had this still look on my face 24 hours out. And I said, never. That's all I said. That was my response. And then I do my first press conference back in Adelaide once the trade's gone through. And the journo who had asked me goes, so Alex, 8 months ago, I asked you the question about would you come home? And you said never. So what are you doing here? And I had to kind of explain myself where I was at that point in time. But the week we had here, 12 months ago, gather around. I had my little daughter who'd just been born, and my wife came over, and that for us was Adelaide's home.
Yeah, sure.
And not at that point that we were thinking about coming back to play footy, or I was. But as the year went on, and you know, being a parent has its challenges. The thought of coming home
and
was
wanting
such
that
a
support
great,
around you.
and wanted to
completely.
If there was an opportunity, make the most of it in both clubs.
Good to have you here. Good to have you there on Thursday night. And I know you guys in footy hate looking back. You'd like to look forward, but as supporters, everyone's still getting over what happened on Saturday on the Gold Coast. Great game between two clearly quality sides. Where were you, though, when Isaac Ranker was neither paid a mark nor a free kick for what the AFL has belatedly admitted was a mistake?
Yeah, I was dropping a ball. I saw it coming in, and I almost started clapping because the effort that Ranks put in to give himself an opportunity. And then the ball trickled down, and I actually gave away a free kick. So I had a bit of a stiff 20 seconds there. But for us, I guess...
mate, don't beat yourself up about it. Every Crows player gave away a free kick in the final minutes of that damn game.
But every opportunity you look back on, and I just said this earlier, in the moment you sit there quite frustrated, but as you sit in it for a little bit, you understand there are a lot of key moments that we could have controlled. And I guess for me, where I sit, still being a month in my journey with the Crows, so proud of the group to give ourselves an opportunity to have a look at winning the game in conditions that were quite harsh. And Gold Coast are a side who are in form, and they've shown that they're consistent with it now. So for us to walk away, although we didn't take 4 points away, we take a lot of belief of where the group's
completely.
at.
We polled our listeners the other day in the light of that incident about the concept of something like a coach's challenge or a captain's challenge. You probably see it from other sports. There was incredible amount of support for it, probably influenced by what happened on Saturday. Is it something you'd like to see, or do you think that would be sending the game in the wrong direction?
Yeah, it's a good topic of discussion. For me as a player, I like the part of our game that it's just so flowing.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what is so beautiful about our sport is something happens and you've got to have the mental skills to be able to park that for the moment and move on. And I reckon if we introduced a captain's challenge, you see in the American sports, they're so time delayed, which I guess in contrast creates money because it's time for advertising.
That's true.
But as a player, I want to be out there and going to battle for an analogy of playing sport.
Yeah.
Did you get up to the Barossa last night? Were you up there for the footy show?
No, but I saw Isaac and a few of the boys did their performance. Unreal. How special is that?
We'll have a bit of a listen. We've got some of the audio here.
I don't mind spending every day out on your corner in the pouring rain. Look for the girl with a broken smile. Ask her if she wants to stay a while.
He's a talented bloke, Isaac, isn't he?
Incredible. And to be able to, like, being in the change rooms or in the gym, often he just belts out a chorus of a song.
Does he?
And I'm just sitting there in awe. I'm like, what are you playing footy for, mate? You go chase the dream.
I think it's nice seeing guys showing their creative and their softer side in footy because historically it was sort of like, everybody gets stuck in and go and have a million beers afterwards. But like hearing like the way Darcy Moore speaks, like on Anzac Day, and I think it's a really good sign that players are being much more openly softer and more thoughtful.
Yeah, and that's great to hear from our industry as AFL footballers. There may be a part of people who look at footballers and think we're macho men or we're all the same, but I think what we're seeing across our industry, there's a lot of individuals within our players cohort, both the men and AFLW program, and we now have a platform to be ourselves, and you're seeing that in many different ways. And one is Isaac, how he can cross the white line, be an absolute competitor, but then off the field, he's so warm and so engaging. Like he comes over, an Adelaide boy, he's an Adelaide boy, and we just straight away have this mutual connection of he's asking me questions about where I grew up, where my family's from, and that ability to be able to be, one, so skillful in his football talent terms, and then be able to engage in conversations like that. He's maturity above his years.
So we got to see him sing. Do you think we're going to get to see him play?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I felt like that rush of energy that he would have got last night maybe would have flushed out that corgi. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, I like that. Let's hope that holds true.
Yeah, we got training the Savo, so yeah, looking forward to seeing how he's moving and should be all good.
It's going to be massive tomorrow night. Insane atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, really. Like the crowd. Well, you would have seen it last year, except they're all barracking against you.
Yeah, I'll just gather around in Howitz. What a special moment for this state, and there's a few good games. What game are you boys looking forward to most?
Well, we're biased. We're both going tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But you know what? The next best game is Port Hawthorn on Sunday, the grudge match.
Out.
Yeah, that's going to be unbelievable.
Are they blowing that up a bit?
Well,
with the narrative.
Koshi last night had a crack at the AFL and said they should refund the fine that Ken had to pay, given they're now using it as the sort of grudge match at the ground for marketing purposes.
I'm actually with that. Just a side note, every time there's a fine in footy, the players, often the next game, it's a highlight of, say, a big tackle or a big bump.
Yes,
true. They often use it, maybe not the AFL, but maybe the
official rights
broadcast. Yep. They use those little clips to, get the eyes on the TV.
Totally.
But at the same time, I'm like, I got a $2,000 fine for that.
They should be prevented from using it to promote the game if it was deemed finable. That's
anyway,
good.
That's a side note.
Over under 10,000 people doing the aeroplane on Sunday night. Do you think if Hawthorn got up?
Well, I'm going to tune in because I'm really keen to see how it plays out. So they've got one bloke anyway watching.
Good, Alex. Good luck tomorrow night.
Great having you, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Partly cloudy, 25 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. physioextra.com.
Outrage over a group of children sworn at and abused by angry adults for fishing in West Lakes. Children called parents and police after the adults threw their bags and fishing gear around. Council bylaws allowing for fishing at the lake where the children were. Police and parents called over the local adults' appalling behaviour, and Ned McHenry from the 5AA Fishing Show also appalled by the residents' behaviour.
I am so fed up and so angry with these absolute moron adults that have had a go at these kids, these Karens that are legally fishing, getting off their PlayStations, legally fishing. Stuff you. Stuff you, you absolute moron flogs.
The US president has praised his sweeping tariffs, saying they're in full force and effect. China facing 104% tariffs for failing to withdraw its retaliatory levies on the US. The White House saying nearly 70 countries have reached out to negotiate on the import charges. Donald Trump has declared the levies are on and the money pouring in.
It's going to be great for us. It's going to be great for other countries. We've been ripped off and abused by countries for many years with the tariff situation. They've used tariffs against us.
And the fallout from that continues. The Premier here maintains the AUKUS agreement is safe. Peter Malinauskas telling David and Will he's only heard positive things about it from the US president.
This is a program that was designed by its nature to last across administration in terms of government. It is literally a 40-year program. So I think AUKUS transcends, the next 3 3/4 years of the Trump presidency and of the presidency that follows that. So that's why I think we just all got to get on with the task and make sure we execute the policy.
Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton have gone head-to-head in the First Leaders debate with 24 days to go until the country heads to the polls. The pair answering questions from 100 undecided voters in Sydney's West. Mr Albanese came out on top, receiving 44% of the vote compared to Mr Dutton's 35%, but other polls gave it Mr Dutton the win. These Aussies think the debates will play a crucial role in deciding the country's next leader.
Oh, I think quite a lot, because they're put on the spot.
I think they're important. I reckon everyone deserves to have a look to see how people perform under pressure. I thought it was pretty balanced, if I'm being honest.
Households are being promised a 3% cut to power bills under the Coalition's plan to keep more gas in Australia. The opposition releasing the modelling which underpins its gas reservation policy. It shows big industrial users would benefit from a 15% reduction in gas prices. The Coalition says that would have flow-on benefits right across the economy. The roof of a packed nightclub in the Dominican Republic has collapsed, killing close to 60 people. More from Nine's US correspondent Reid Butler.
Patrons had no idea what was coming because their eyes were glued to the stage as a famous band performed at the Jet Set Club in Santo Domingo. Cracks appeared in the ceiling before it caved way, killing at least 58 people and injuring around 160 others. Now, the search for survivors in the rubble. The club is popular with politicians, celebrities and sports stars. Former World Series baseball player Octavio Dotel is among the victims. The cause of the collapse is not clear.
After a decade of bringing joy to customers, a New South Wales man is retiring from his dream job at McDonald's. For the past 10 years, Daryl Holmes has been the heart and soul of the Walls End Maccas in Newcastle. The 75-year-old telling Today, saying goodbye won't be easy.
There's only one place if I could continue work, it would be right here. I come into work and I say to the customers,
If there's one person who's happy and smiling, that's me, because I come in here every day and I have an absolute blast.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Tom Wren, good morning.
Good morning to you as well, Matty. We'll start with footy. Adelaide forward Alex Neal-Bullen says he'd be reluctant to introduce a captain's challenge into football games. There have been calls for it to come in after the controversial decision not to allow Isaac Rankin to mark all free kick in the dying moments of the clash against Gold Coast last weekend. Neal-Bullen, though, telling David and Will a captain's call would slow the game down, and he doesn't like the idea of that.
For me as a player, I like the part of our game that it's just so flowing. And for me, that's what is so beautiful about our sport is something happens and you've got to have the mental skills to be able to park that for the moment and move on.
Full-time in the first Champions League quarter-finals, Arsenal thrashing Real Madrid in its home leg 3-0. Bayern Munich lost at home to Inter Milan. The return legs will be played next week. Well, the coach of a Perth teenager who smashed an Australian 100-metre record says this is just the beginning. Leah O'Brien has clocked 11.14 seconds at the National Junior Championships in Perth, breaking an under-18 record set 57 years ago by the legendary Raylene Boyle. O'Brien's coach, Braden Clark, says the 17-year-old is ready for her next challenge.
2 days ago, she won the under-18 200 metres in a under-18 state record, 23.37. That was into a headwind. She's going to contend the Open 100. She made the national final last year at 16, so we're hoping we can back that up again, make another national final.
Exciting times for sure. Let's go to golf. Minwoo Lee's been groped with Masters fancy Colin Morikawa and world number 4 Joaquin Niemann. That's for the opening 2 rounds at Augusta. Adam Scott also in a group that's sure to attract plenty of fans. He'll play with Xander Schauffele and Victor Hovland. And Aussie cricketers Annabelle Sutherland and Queensland young gun Georgia Voll have been nominated for the ICC's Women's Player of the Month award. And that's the 5AA Sport.
5AA Traffic.
Selling your commercial property for top dollar is made easier with the team at RWC Adelaide. Visit rwcadelaide.com.
Thanks, Will. Got monster delays this morning with a 4-car crash at Door Park. It's Goodwood Road in Ormond Avenue affecting city-bound delays back past Dawes Road. Regency Park, twisted traffic along South Road near Katina Street. Slow for works at Virginia, Anglevar Road near Maloney Road, and getting busy at Theberton, Port Road near Phillip Street for works too. Early running camera, Osborne Road at North Haven. Live way better with Nature's Way thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Right now, Nature's Way vitamins are half price at Chemist Warehouse. Yes, half price. Be quick. Sale ends today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's traffic
For your
weather.
next conference, charity gala or any type of function, make it a superstar experience at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
Partly cloudy, 25 today, cloud clearing tomorrow and 30. Perfect for gather round, sunny Friday and across the weekend. Temps 29 to 33. Right now it is 16, 5AA, always Adelaide.
Kathy doesn't have time to wait around for deliveries. That's why we've updated the AusPost app to include 2-hour estimated delivery notifications, so Kathy doesn't have to. Come on. You ask, we deliver at Australia Post. Available when matched to a MyPost account.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA, always Adelaide.
1 minute you're taking a test drive at Edwardstown Mazda, the next sipping cocktails in Bali. Oh, cheers. Buy a car from Edwardstown Mazda and win the ultimate Bali holiday. Flights, accommodation and activities. Plus, score up to $8,000 in savings across the entire Edwardstown Mazda range. Your new car and Bali holiday are waiting only at Edwardstown Mazda, the #1 destination for Mazda in SA. T's and C's apply.
It's gotta be.
Now, where is my suitcase?
We know you are concerned about SA's public hospital capacity and how long it can take to see a doctor. So are we. We need enough doctors to provide the safe, quality care you deserve. There are solutions for South Australia and it's not rocket science. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au and sign the petition to support our 3-point plan for enough doctors for South Australia. Authorised by Dr David Pope, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
Home maintenance is exhausting. You need to know a plumber, an electrician, a handyman and a renovator, or you could swap all those numbers for just one. Precise Plumbing and Electrical.
From plumbing and electrical work to pipe relining, bathroom renovations and handyman services, they're your one-stop solution with 25 years' worth of happy customers.
They service all areas of Adelaide and will be there on time every time with an expert in your field of need, ready to do top-notch work. In fact, they're so confident in their expertise, their workmanship comes with a lifetime warranty.
With free quotes and upfront fixed pricing, Precise Plumbing and Electrical is a name you can trust trust and the only name you need to remember. Visit preciseservices.com.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Imagine waking up in a home designed for luxury living, where every day brings the opportunity for a morning swim, state-of-the-art wellness amenities, and evenings spent with friends. Retirement isn't about slowing down, it's about living on your own terms. Living Choice has created luxury homes with premium resort-style amenities and a community of like-minded individuals who believe retirement is about living life to the fullest. Make your choice. Living Choice. Go to livingchoice.com.au.
At Austrac Campers, family is at the heart of everything we do. When you choose us, you're joining a community that values the open road, great memories and endless adventures.
Austrac Campers.
Steinborner Hyundai has always been well worth a trip. And now there's another great reason to visit. Hyundai's full range of hybrids. Steinborner Hyundai has a hybrid to suit every driver. From the hybrid i30, the Kona, the Tucson, as well as the all-new Santa Fe hybrid family-sized SUV. Experience the difference at Steinborner Barossa and Clare with outstanding service and a great range of vehicles. And you'll see why. Steinborner Hyundai is well worth the trip. Steinborner.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
17 to 9, we have our last 4-day double to gather round to give away this half hour, this 20 minutes it's going to be given away. You can get calling now, get on the line, get in the queue, 8223 0000. Jono and Lucy ready to take your call. Footy, food or fun, you get to pick the category, you get the question right, and you're getting along to gather round at Adelaide Oval to see every single game if you'd like. We've got on the Police Home Care text line, following your passionate defence of Karens, David, a list of all the aggrieved names out there. We heard from Johns. We've heard from Myrtles. Nigels, no friends. Now we're getting a few more. Jans, not happy Jan. The Jans aren't happy about not happy Jan, ironically. Also, and I thought this was good, we've got one from Adam, who says, my name's Adam and I'm constantly connected to being the first man created in the image of God. The pressure is immense. Maybe the Bible should be rewritten to change Adam to Isaac after his singing appearance last night. Well, Isaac already has a role in the Bible. So,
well, that's true.
You can't. That would get confusing.
Throughout all this, I'm just wondering if my mate Darian's friend who played with him at the Blacks, Wayne King, is listening. His footy nickname was redundant.
Well, speaking of football and people that are unhappy,
and rightly so,
the South Adelaide Football Club CEO Neil Sharp joins us on 5AA Breakfast this morning. Neil, to us it seems like you guys have been dudded for Gather Round this year. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. That's certainly a view of some people down south. I think that it's disappointing that we have no AFL presence down that way this week.
Well, it's sad for the club, Neil, and you're obviously the CEO of the mighty South Adelaide Football Club, but it's sad for mainly the kids because, you know, from what Tommy Wren was saying when we spoke to him about this at 6:30, you've had Essendon there in the past. The Bulldogs not only trained but also ran a clinic in 2023. You had Gold Coast there. And what, Geelong reckon it's too far or something?
Our understanding is that it didn't fit into their logistical travel plan, etc. So, they've opted to go to Woodville to hold their training session today, this afternoon, I think.
But they had agreed to it, hadn't they?
Yeah. We've been advised that Geelong would be coming down to Noarlunga.
I reckon it's really bad. I'm biased to your neck of the woods, mate, but I think there's a huge argument that McGain Stadium, Panther Park, whatever you call it, this is the gateway to the Flurio. Like, this should be... it's great that the Barossa is getting the attention it deserves. It's fantastic for Lyndoch, and I know you're not envious or upset about that. Indeed, in the statement that you put out, you said the remarkable developments achieved in Lyndoch demonstrate how swiftly a vision can be realised. But, you know, this is the home of the cockle divers and the Aldinga Sharks. Like, this is a big footy area, and it needs to be recognised.
Yeah, and there's a strong footy community, as you suggest, but you know it's a community that loves its footy and is passionate about its footy. Now, whether it's a local club or following South Adelaide or Great Southern Football League, etc. Like, there's some really good football people down there and people that have a real passion for footy and would just love to have AFL teams play at South Adelaide, or at the very least turn up and do an appearance.
Yeah.
What do you get told, Neil? I'm sure you guys have, like every SANFL club, have put forward pitches to host gather-round games in the past. What's been the reason, if you've been given any, as to why we haven't had any in Noarlunga yet?
Well, certainly the AFL and the Premier's Department have been out for a look, I think about a year or two ago, across the state, and they visited Noarlunga as well. And I think their view was, we have some of what would be needed to host a game, but we didn't have everything. So, but at that point, I think that certainly the Premier was keen on the Barossa. So that's the way the AFL and the government went. But I think, if it's extended, you'd hope that some other parts of the state would get some opportunities. But the South, at this stage has been left out from that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's an omission that is remedied as we hold on to gather round, hopefully, into the future. Neil, hey, good luck for South for the year ahead. I know you've already had a wind, which is good. I love your ground. You could partner up with a major car maker if gather rounds out there and everyone's sitting in their cars watching the game.
Yeah, that'd be something significant, I would think.
Good on you, Neil.
All right, thank you.
Go the Sandful.
Neil Sharp, the CEO of the South Adelaide Football Club. Gee, it's overcast outside at the moment.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
The last of the non-30-degree days. I mean, there's 129 in there, but let's round up for the sake of argument. There's warm weather ahead, but right now it feels sort of more autumnal. Shall we give away some tickets, brighten up someone's day? Nigel in Hallett Cove was the first caller through for the Gather Round tickets. Morning, Nigel.
Morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good, thank you, Nigel.
Nigel, footy, food or fun? What category would you like?
Let's go food.
Food.
It's popular, isn't it?
This one is going to be of benefit if you are a 5AA listener regularly, Nigel. Chris Jarmer is the Crows chef. Now, when the players win, he makes them a special treat to eat in the room afterwards. Do you know what it is?
Holy crap. No, I don't, but let's... no idea what he would make. Let's just go croissants. I have no idea.
No, it's not croissants. Sorry, Nigel. Let's go to Nord. James, would you like to have a crack at that one or a different category?
No, I heard it before, but I can't remember, so I'm going to go footy. Thank you.
Footy. Okay. Which was the first AFL VFL grand final in history that didn't feature a Victorian team? What year?
What year? The 80s. I'll go 89.
No, 89. That was Hawthorn Geelong, I reckon, that year, wasn't it? All right, let's go to Elizabeth Vale. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, fellas.
Do you want to have a go at that one or a different category?
No, I think I better. I don't want food and I don't want that one.
All right. So you want to go fun?
Yes, thank you.
All right. The Nord Food and Wine Festival is going to be hosting Birds of Tokyo as their performers. Which of these is a Birds of Tokyo song? A, Good God, B, Lights, or C, Plans?
Lights.
Sorry, Terry. All right, we move on. The tickets are still alive.
These are hard questions.
Les and Lockleys, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Les, you want which of those you want to have a stab at?
I'll have a stab at the 50-50 one there.
Yep.
With the Birds of Tokyo song.
Yes. Which do you think it is?
Can you just repeat them again?
So it was Good God, Lights, or Plans were the three choices.
Good God.
Sorry, Les.
Someone's
It's not
got two hands on the ticket here.
Pat in Lockleys, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Pat. What question do you want to have a crack at?
The Birds of Tokyo.
Yes. And what?
Yeah.
So is it Good God, Lights or Plans that's their song?
Plan?
Yeah, it is. Pat, congratulations. You get along together round.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Well done.
That's your plans
Pat,
for the next few days.
As we say, it always pays to be the fifth caller through.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
For the benefit of those who didn't know, it was, of course, the 04 Grand Final.
That's
the
right.
first one, because it was the fantastic Herald Sun front page when they, after the two prelims, the front page of the Melbourne Herald Sun was a scream mask wearing Brisbane Lions and Port scarves, and it said "Nightmare at the MCG." It was a great front page.
So that's the end of those tickets. Should we say something else about other tickets, or are we not allowed to yet?
You're the boss, mate. You're the button pusher.
I don't think I've been given the okay yet.
Come on. Well, you can't titillate people.
Well,
like
I think there might be more opportunities.
Tease.
There might be more opportunities, is all I'm saying. I'm going to get Lucy to rummage around and see what she can come up with.
Okay.
That was too much fun. Let's check traffic. When you cover things, they last longer. The same goes for you. Be sun smart and check UV levels daily.
Thanks, Will. Got monster delays this morning with a 4-car crash at Door Park. It's Goodwood Road near Ormond Avenue, affecting city-bound delays back past Doors Right. Regency Park, twisted traffic along South Road near Katina Street. Slow for works at Virginia, Anglevar Road near Maloney Road, and getting busy at Theberton, Port Road near Phillip Street for works too. Early running camera, Osborne Road at North Haven. Live way better with Nature's Way thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Right now, Nature's Way vitamins are half price at Chemist Warehouse. Yes, half price. Be quick. Sale ends today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
There is care in simplicity. Our experienced team understand that keeping things simple and easy is the best approach. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
Above the secure parking and private residence lobby, your spectacular sky home awaits. It welcomes you with unparalleled innovation and the comfort of knowing that you are beyond safe. You are blissfully carefree. Flawless design, sunlit spaciousness and immersive views envelop your sky-high haven. Parkline by Chase Crown is living above and beyond. An opportunity not to be missed. parklinekenttown.com.
They say you shouldn't mix business with pleasure, but they clearly haven't been to the AFL Gather Round Business Lunch. This event brings together the AFL industry and the South Australian business community, offering the chance to celebrate footy while networking for your business.
This year's lineup of speakers includes AFL CEO Andrew Dillon, Premier Peter Malinauskas, and AFL talent and media stars Patrick Dangerfield, Rory Sloane, Kate McCarthy and Nathan Buckley.
Tickets include seated dining with a delicious 2-course meal, a 3.5-hour drinks package, exclusive guest speakers, networking opportunities, and an official 2025 Gather Round souvenir.
Don't miss the AFL Gather Round Business Lunch on Friday, April 11 at the Adelaide Convention Centre. Get your tickets now at afleventoffice.com.au.
Right Price, Adelaide's best in heating and cooling, has risen to new heights. Literally, Right Price are now your roofing people too. Same exceptional service, value and quality. From total roof replacement, including tiled roof installation, to tile roof repairs, cleaning and painting. And for peace of mind, a rock-solid quote. So the only surprise you'll get is how magnificent your roof and home looks. Do it right. Visit rightpriceroofing.com.au.
You can get your roof right at Right Price.
When you think of Adelaide Entertainment Centre, you think of this or this. But we also host corporate conferences, charity galas, and functions of all shapes and sizes, with unique spaces shared by superstars and limited by only your imagination. Events at Adelaide Entertainment Centre are like no other. Make your next event a superstar experience. Visit Adelaide Entertainment Centre's website.
Ignite your passion for exploration in the all-new Land Cruiser Prado. From the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Featuring refined suspension and increased manoeuvrability, the Land Cruiser Prado boasts off-roading prowess, ready to conquer the most rugged landscapes. Land Cruiser Prado is your gateway to adventure. Come and experience the difference and take a test drive of the all-new Land Cruiser Prado today at Jarvis Toyota, now on Brighton Road, Somerton Park.
Hyundai Prius is on now with great deals on new and demo models. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
4 to 9. Let's have a look at the gather round forecast. You cover the barbecue to protect it from the sun. The same goes for you. Be sun smart and cover up. It's perfect, really. So tomorrow night, Thursday, 10th of April, is going to be 30 degrees, 29 the next day, 32 Saturday, 33 on Sunday. Couldn't get any better than that. It's just absolutely magnificent for the weekend ahead. And I tell you what, feels pretty good too. Just sort of everything's coming together nicely in Adelaide at the moment. It feels like the sun and the moon are aligning. Let's forget global economic Armageddon may be behind the fuel prices dropping for a moment. Just enjoy gather round.
That old thing.
It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today. $1.69 diesel. You get diesel under $1.70 pretty well in a lot of places at the moment. The mobile Henley Beach Road at Torrensville, certainly. $1.67, the mobile on Prospect Road, Blair Athol. Unleaded, you can get under $1.60, $1.59 at the mobile Prospect Road, Blair Athol. So that's a good place to head if you're anywhere near that area this morning. Or also $1.65, the Hugo South Road, St Mary's. Better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Download the RAA app and start saving today. Let's get footy tips. The other important thing ahead of gather round, starting on a Thursday night like footy does these days. You need to get in and get organised early. Dive into Macca's limited time Minecraft movie meal featuring exclusive collectibles and the new Nether Flame sauce. Ryan Fitzgerald, good morning to you, Fitzy.
32 degrees over the weekend. I tell you, a few of those teams could, they could come down to Port Nalunga for a couple of sueys for recovery, I reckon, boys.
Off the jetty,
That's what
mate.
they should be doing.
Well, you know what? I said, Jack Higgins, you got nothing to do in Adelaide, mate. I said, someone get Jack Higgins on the 7-3A down in Noarlunga Centre, and then we'll take him from there. I don't know if he'll get. I don't think he'll get back for his game, but geez, he'll have a bloody good time. That's for sure.
That's right. He wouldn't make it from one side of the Colonnade Tavern car park to the other, mate. Hey, Fitzy.
Pembo, just quickly, I thought. If we get a game at South Adelaide, right, down at Gaines Stadium, and I think we deserve one at some stage, could we turn the Colonnades car park into like a bird cage setup like they do at Flemington?
Mate, it would be infinitely classier than the bird cage.
Do you know what? You can get vouchers to Jungle Fever and stuff like that. Well, we give it. It'd be a great party down there.
Oh yeah, get the catering done by Barnacle Bills just over the road there. It'd be terrific. Hey, mate, we're going to rip into the tips because we're up against it. It's been a packed show. So the Crows, after that 1 point atrocity, will we bounce back tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm confident. I mean, Isaac Rankin plays a huge part in this. We need a bit of pace in the middle, but if he plays, I'm confident we can beat Geelong. Last year they took about 12 intercept marks against us going back. Tom Stewart did. I think we're going to change the way that we play against them this year, and we should win, boys.
All right, so just quick one-word answers, mate. Pies, Swans?
We're going to go the Pies.
North, Gold Coast?
Gold Coast will win that one, Pembo.
Carlton, West Coast?
Well, Carlton has to win this. Jesus, if they don't. Look, it would be great to see the meltdown in Adelaide, but Carlton have to win that game.
Footscray in Brisbane?
Oh, this is going to be a great game. Yeah. I'm going to go the Lions, but it'll be a lot closer than you think.
Demons and the Bombers. A bit of a coin toss.
Well, this is the other one as well. I don't think Melbourne are in. They're mentally, they're gone. I think Essendon's going to win this game, boys.
Yeah. Then Richmond, Freo?
Freo will win that easy.
In the Barossa. Then St Kilda and the Giants.
Yeah, too hard. Giants are playing good footy. I'll say the Giants.
And finally, the grudge match. Leaving on a jet plane. Port v Hawthorn.
Oh, yeah. Look, Hawthorn they look way too good. So, unfortunately, Port will lose that to the Hawks.
Good on you, Fitzy. Thanks for the tips, mate. We are out of time. Stick around. Graham Goodings is coming up next. Dive into Macca's limited time Minecraft movie meal featuring exclusive collectibles and the new Nether Flame sauce.
Coming up next.